Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. After yet another record high close for both the Dow and the S&P yesterday, we're seeing North American stock futures little changed once again this morning. Constructive, possibly, as we try to stay near those highs that we saw yesterday. But yeah, really impressive rally to kick things off for the new trading week. Everyone impressed by that blowout jobs number back on Friday that was reported, obviously, when the market was closed. Meanwhile, investors continue to mull the $2 trillion potential stimulus bill from President Joe Biden for infrastructure spending. We'll talk about some of those names coming up once again this morning. They remain very, very strong. We saw big name tech stocks come back to life a little bit yesterday. Apple, for the first time, starting to participate in this rally, moving back to the upside, while Facebook, Google, and Microsoft all reached record highs. Individually this morning as well, Moderna shares higher in the pre-market here. They're going to double their production of their COVID-19 vaccine. We'll have a look at Moderna, and we'll take a look at those big name tech shares once again. Might be worth a day two type of trade. It's Tuesday, April 6, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go, a little bit of positivity coming back into the marketplace. We'll skip right over this, guys, because we need to refresh our data on that board. We are a little bit negative to kick things off this morning on the futures, guys. But as I said, it feels a little bit more constructive today because of the big moves we saw yesterday. You know, we're not gapping down 1.5% as volatility continues. We're kind of holding near the top end of the range from yesterday. We saw lots of impressive rallies to kick off the new trading week, including, as I said, Apple finally coming back to life.
Yep, absolutely. It was led by the big tech, and you had some of the recovery names, of course, doing really, really well. But one story that might have got a little bit missed, well, maybe it didn't. Nikola back in the news as well. And Mr. Milton selling 30 million shares, something along those lines, at $13.89. Guess what price that is? Oh, baby, yeah. And, well, sorry, not for cash. He bartered. He got goods and services from an unknown buyer. So I have no idea what any of that means. I just find it entirely amusing, and maybe we'll be watching a little bit of Nikola today. But everything is about the big tech rally. There were some other names that participated as well if you in the tech space, but everyone's going to be talking about the Facebooks and Microsofts and Apple now finally participating. Congratulations to Baylor. They were absolutely dominant. I love you, Suggs. He's an unbelievable player for Gonzaga, but those guys were entirely too much. But that's not even the big story here, Sean. We're coming back at 3:15. That show is starting today. We're very excited for it. I know you guys have been waiting for this one for quite some time. We're gonna have that afternoon show for you. Still a morning in trade to get through, and there is a lot to look at and a lot to be happy for with this market flat, but for now, Sean, for now.
I don't know why. Yeah. What's up to Baylor Bears there? Yeah, that was a good call. We made that, and that was my pick, and I won the pool, thank God. So that was good. We had Baylor the whole way. Yesterday, we knew about this. We knew that Ripple, XRP, Ripple the company, XRP the token, ripping up. Like, you know what it's at right now, guys? Like 98 cents. It touched $1.10. Like, we bought it. This was not even that long ago on this SEC or investigation down here, 20, 30 cents. Like, I bought it at 30 cents. When it went to 20, I was like, oh man, I made a mistake. But again, like, I'm looking at crypto now more and more because it's actually starting to trade a hell of a lot like stock. Like, there's levels here. Like, this breaks through 30, look where it holds, breaks 30 again. Then you have this consolidation at 70, rips through 70, right to $1.10. Like, it's absolutely unbelievable. I was just doing some more research on some of this last night, and I was like, holy crow, like, this is an unbelievable run for some of these names, and just how well they are based off technical levels. I mean, Bitcoin 60,000, it doesn't get any better than that. That's like Tesla. Just how many times is it going to bump up back in the old day before a reverse split? Now it's already back to 1,000, but how many times is it going to bump into that 1,000? You talked about it being, it's poll time again. So what my poll was today here, and you can see, and I'm actually, let me refresh this quickly. It's what Brandon led the story off with here, the show. After yesterday's big cap tech run, like, I can't believe it. Now I actually looked, Alphabet is now my #1 holding in the portfolio, just by percentage wise, all-time highs up 4% yesterday, which, and let me know, which one of these. I didn't include Tesla. I don't consider them big cap tech. Obviously, they're monster cap tech, but they're not in the same sort of realm as these four. Microsoft, Alphabet, Facebook, and Apple. For me here, I would pick Alphabet, and I'll tell you why as the show goes on. But no surprise, Apple, a little bit of a lagger, and we'll see today picking up here based on some more car talk. But Apple and Microsoft leading the way right now. Oh, we just hit 200 votes. This was posted about 20 minutes ago, so let's see if we can get that higher. And then yesterday's, I don't know, after yesterday, we can find the poll. Yesterday was Tesla. Will Tesla get to 1,000? And that was 80%. Or so. I'll have to check back. It just closed, actually. 80% or more on that one. So, hey, man, we're loving the NASDAQ. It's back. It's positive today. The ES is not. So let's see if we get some more runners here today, Brendo.
All right, we plugged in the market machine so we can show you this once again. Here we go. That's a little bit more accurate now. Red, yeah, for both the S&P and the Dow. NASDAQ positive, only just 0.14%. You can see down here, crude oil back to the upside again today, 1.7%, 0.5% for gold. Yeah, Bitcoin, a little change so far this morning, but some of the crypto names moving around. So we'll have a look at some of those coming up as well. Before we do that, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, Brandon, and hi guys. Today is going to be a great and exciting day. Please enjoy your trading and the show, and make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's get it started, guys. We have lots to talk about, lots to cover coming up over the next hour or so as we get you prepared for the open, but let's talk about the close. Today is it. Today is the first day. We're going to be back this afternoon. Make sure you mark it down in your calendars. Come back and join us at 3:15. We'll take you through the last 45 minutes of the trading session, right through to the close. Lots of good stuff to talk about and show you coming up. 3:15. Today is the first day. We'll touch on everything that happens in the last hour. I want to show you this story to kick things off, guys. We thought we had this Archegos mess behind us. I sat down this morning and noticed right away that VIA-C shares were very, very active here in the pre-market once again. I think that they're approaching about 2 million, if not 1.5 million traded already. Yeah, Credit Suisse, more blocks going on the chopping block, I guess, this morning. And big ones as well, 34 million, 14 million, and 11 million shares each. That's from Reuters this morning, guys. So Viacom back on watch again today.
Yeah, this was the reason why there was so much worry about contagion, because before you knew just how well we kind of figured out how far this has spread because they had positions all across many banks. But before you knew when some of the banks had got out of position, and early on, thank God for Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley sort of beating everybody to the punch there, because if they'd been in the same boat, you have these unfulfilled blocks they're trying to sell, and you were still hanging around close to that 40 where it was that bottom on the dump in VIA-C. If there'd been other firms that were looking to dump shares, you'd probably already be pressing through that level, which I have to imagine if somehow, that had happened, like yesterday or maybe this morning, we're staring at 3 or 4 times those types of blocks needing to sell off, and you had that 40 level staying there, it would get pretty ugly to the short side. Clearly, it's going to be worth the watch. The volume, as Brendan mentioned during the show yesterday, not nearly as big as it was when the whole mess was happening. You can sort of see that. See if I can't bring this up so you guys can see it. You can sort of see that volume had really tapered off. It was just a monster volume event for a couple of sessions there. But there is a chance that could pick up a little bit today, especially if we get down towards that 40 level. I feel there's going to be some people that are looking at the value proposition here and always looking to pick up a bottom on this particular name. But yeah, back on watch for sure. We were all watching that 40 flush out, and then the halt back to the upside. 43 then held after that. So we got some levels to work off of. We do test that, that 26th nightmarish bottom for Viacom. So all systems locked and loaded to be able to trade this one. If it does break that all-time low, not all-time low, but that 40 break took us to 39.81. So I'm going to throw that number out there. Even if 40 goes, I like a 39.80 break probably as well, just to be sure. It's a couple of bucks away from that here, but you really never do know with this particular stock.
Yeah, I've got it locked and loaded here on VIA-C for that 41 break right here. We can see this is a 20 period, 20-minute chart. Can you see that? Yeah, there we go. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so basically the bottom, and we were trading it this day, and thank God I was actually getting long. I mean, I actually made a little bit of money, like we lost a lot of money during this drop, but then it halted in here after this move back up, and we were able to make a little bit of money back there. But I do like this 43 level. I mean, we've already broken below that, so that's going to be one to go long on. And then you do have 41. I mean, I don't, this 41 right here where we touched before we bounced and then broke and then holding in the pre-market here. I really, really love this 41 break on via C. I mean, I just think that with this block coming through, and here's the imbalance locator. It's on NASDAQ, guys. Sorry, this is Palantir, but it's on NASDAQ, so we won't be able to see it. This is just an early look, and it's pretty muted, man. It's only 840. But right now, pretty muted, not much on the buy side. Obviously, we love some Palantir, which came off in the afternoon yesterday. But other than that, man, not much on here for now. Fubo and whatnot. But look, Brennan, that via C, it looks like it's not over with. I'm thinking we're getting close. We're getting close. I mean, how bad has this stock been? And this daily chart, as we've just showed you, is just absolutely nasty. I'll call it up right here. All the way up. What a move this had. The funny thing is, like we say, oh my God, look how low this is. But realistically, we're not even back to where we were in January. So it's like 3 months ago. It's just hard that it went up so fast and fall so fast. So that's the thing. Again, fair value, honestly, probably in this range, man, 28 to 36. And then we get these bumps based on some shorting and some shenanigans at the hedge fund side. And now you're seeing them getting blown up. So actually good on them.
And it's impressive to see that chart. How much of that move up had to do with, hedge funds like this, Archegos trying to buy up shares on the way up. But just impressive. Now we're hearing Credit Suisse, some of the management team has stepped down because of the ridiculous amount of risk that they took on giving Archegos the accounts that were given to them. Let's shift gears here a little bit, guys. I want to talk about some of the airlines, the travel stocks. Back on the watch list this morning, but just a general thought here to start things off this morning. We had an impressive move yesterday on all of the cruise lines, the airlines as well. Yeah, I just saw this one. UAL just popped up there on some volume. Back into, support from yesterday, definitely, but towards the top end of the range as well. So more positivity coming out. We saw some more numbers from the TSA suggesting travel now around the 30% decline versus this time last year, compared to 50% decline that we were seeing just a month ago. Absolutely.
Hey, man, I was watching the Jays play yesterday. You wouldn't have thought that anything was going on out in Texas. What unbelievable sight to see. I mean, I'm a big baseball fan. You actually see a full stadium was pretty interesting, and just it didn't feel normal, but here we are. I've never been like a gigantic fan of the airlines. Kind of always felt they should be like a utility, and maybe eventually that's something that will happen. But I do like the domestic type carriers a little bit better if we're talking like your Southwest and maybe even like the discount like the Spirit Airlines. But you do have to look at this chart, and look, we're talking a lot about CCL and NCLH, and very, very similar setup, because I was talking about that 28 level yesterday. If we could have held that, and then I look at UAL, and it's basically the same thing off of this like 59. Like you have a breakout from there, it gives everything back in the afternoon before holding that level, then a jump off in the pre-market. So it just sort of feels like, and again, if you go even further back, you do have like 58.70, a recent top, and then you're turning into this support level. I would love for a stock like this, or maybe one of the other names, because not much pre-market volume here, to give us a test off the open. Give us that little dump and see if there's that support there at 59. I mean, sometimes the best buy, I've found that a lot of the best buys have not been taking breakout trades, but looking for those little consolidations or those support levels. And I see something forming like that at around this 59. The reopen story is not necessarily, not everything's at their highs here, and certainly some of the airlines have a little bit of a pullback that they can still move off of. Ooh, I just got triggered into Roblox. So Roblox just took the top off. That's a theme from yesterday, 71.45 to the long side. And CCL actually just triggered me in. I was going to talk about CCL in a second. I thought we'd maybe a delay before we got into talking about CCL, but here it is. It just came through. I was just mentioning that 28 level, looking to buy a bit of a dip on the airlines and maybe like 59. Same thing into 58 is what I want to do here in CCL. Only that just happened 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, CCL. You got to move down here in the Nasdaq, and of course here in the ES. So a nice little move down there. And some IMF growth numbers, but they don't look, I don't know, Brendan, you have them there, but they don't look
I'm not seeing anything
horrible,
groundbreaking.
so I don't really know. I shorted this CEMI here. I know Neil's been shorting it. I'm short this as well. So let's see, that's 2 pennies in the money now. And then, yeah, look, I like this CCL break. I know Neil just went long, I think. I like a break to the high side. I wrote down here today, 28.50. It's obviously this afternoon level and basically where we hovered around all day, besides that morning rip when the whole market was ripping. So 28.50 is going to be a good level. And then let's just see if the market wants to give it up, then you have a 28 break clean to the downside. That should be pretty huge. So again, I've switched up. Neil mentioned about, switching up and not taking breakouts. I think I've made that perfectly clear that that's been my strategy. It's been working like a charm, and we're going to continue to do that. We're going to make the best trades. Yesterday, we were 8 for 9 or 7 for 8 on our symbols. The only one that we stepped on ourselves on, was NEO, and we kept going long into a tanking stock before finally catching what was a nice short. So the plane crash happened early, but then like what always happens, we come flying in and then land on our feet. But still a red stock there for NEO yesterday. So we're gonna see if we can go 8 for 8 today. That seems a little crazy, Brendan.
All right, let's talk cryptos. Yeah, I was noticing that the International Monetary Fund came out with a revised forecast. That was actually back at 8:30 though, so a bit of a delayed reaction possibly from the overall market. Moving to the downside here, let's talk about Square. We already know, obviously, they're into cryptos and Bitcoin specifically, teaming up with Coinbase and Fidelity to launch a Bitcoin trade group, according to the Wall Street Journal. Is this priced in already? Is that why basically nothing's happening?
I mean, yesterday's Square move, again, remember we were talking about Square yesterday and just really how disappointing it was, other than the fact that, we closed on, and that was a big move down. Let's realistically say we closed at about 229.50 on Thursday. And then yesterday, like I said, we had a big cap, move, big tech cap, market cap, move up yesterday. But look at Square. Like Square actually yesterday basically finishes red on the day. I mean, a big move up and then it comes all the way back down. So to say that this is baked in, probably not. I mean, I think that you're still getting a little bit of a bump up, but today we open up flat again. So that's back-to-back days where you're opening up flat and then closing flat. So I'm not really sure. Bitcoin, and like we talked about this yesterday, right? Like Bitcoin here today up to, once again, 50, here it is, I'll pull up the chart here, 58.8, so 59. So Bitcoin's holding up. So I am very, very surprised, to be honest with you, about this dip on Square. And I wish I had a little bit more insight on what exactly is happening. I think this is the right move for Square, obviously, to get into Bitcoin, to do more action with Bitcoin. They already have a whole, I think next to PayPal, they were the single largest buyer of Bitcoin, again, due to the users. So there's definitely stuff there. PayPal's now said that you can go ahead and purchase items with Bitcoin. And I just think we're talking Bitcoin, but it's going to be Ether, it's going to be Ripple, there's going to be a bunch of different tokens involved here. I tweeted something about the Snoop Dogg coin. That was hilarious. Just trying to see if Snoop Dogg would retweet something. 250, 253 up on the high side. I think we need to get through there. The 50-period moving average is 235.50. We need to get there, and we're not even close. So right now we're sort of hovering down. My last buy was right down here. And again, follow me on Twitter. I tweeted out when I bought the last bit of my Square, and it was at 212. So that's been a nice move. But right now, you still have this low side of 200. If the market collapses, I'm very, very nervous about Square. I would much rather have my money in, guys, in any one of these names right now, just from the movement yesterday. Mike, let's refresh. Let's see what we're at right now. Microsoft, Facebook, Alphabet, or Apple. How many votes? 256. And yeah, Apple's still winning. So for me, I think that big tech showed its hand yesterday. So I'd rather be in these names than into Square. So for me, it's not a long on this news or anything until I really see the tide turning and we get above this 235.
Yeah, cautious when he goes into tech. I want to throw one thing in here because we can't talk about Square and mention PayPal and not make a differentiation between the two charts here, because PayPal, you saw the level of Square is at, but PayPal's almost on the verge of like a 255 breakout if you go into like mid-March levels. So it's a bit of a contrast here, and I think that's why on some strength in the space, it might be over here to maybe take a bit of a long break if we ever catch this like 255 intraday, and that could be coming this week if this rally extends a little bit further into some of the other names in the space instead of just the big four.
All right, we'll go from big cap tech to very, very small cap tech. Not very small, but small cap. eBang International. Remember this one from yesterday, guys. EBON was up on some crypto news. Yeah, Hindenburg has officially, or maybe they already started it and just want to milk this a little bit more. So this is a pure luck position for me. But eBang down on Hindenburg, shorting them, guys.
Just guys, FYI here, those of you that are actually, in crypto, I have no idea what's happening, but let's give ourselves some daps for this one. This is Cardano. Screw you, eBang, when you have these kind of moves. 121, 127, just right now, no idea what's going on. We'll tweet this out and see if any of you guys can find it out. Obviously, we're on the show right now, but you can see Cardano just ripping right now from 120 up to 128. So this is how we do it, guys. We gave you this name again. I gave you under 20 cents, man. $1.30 right now for Cardano. Neil, take it away on eBang.
I'm just looking at the consolidation. Like, obviously, a fantastic trade there, and we've seen the situation. Sometimes you're stuck in something or in a position, and you get like you get a share offering. In this case, you get the negative short report. Now, it was a flush out at 620. I like this stock a little bit if it'd give me that look off the open. I'm glad Brennan has it. But just watching out for like this level down around this 550 area, and then from there, if things get really ugly, 440, which is another 20% to the downside. If there's any strength in this stock, which I'm not necessarily seeing, I'm going to be a seller in all strength. No matter what it is, it's going to have to be all the way back up to like this 620, 630 area. This is one of those situations where you can't be afraid. We've talked about, sometimes you have to buy stocks and they're breaking up, buy at those highs. Other situations, if you want to be shorting, you have to be willing to pay down a little bit. So if this comes anywhere close to give me a position starting around 6 even, you can't fret that you missed the rollover trade there because it broke on news. You just got to be able to find yourself into a new position. And seeing as there's room to that 550 level I just pointed out, certainly worth a look at almost any of these prices. At first, I have to make sure I get these locates because I'm not sure it's free shorts on eBond.
Yeah, I was actually just trading price action there. Support, they started selling into the bids that were holding it up, and volume came in, so took the short. And then saw that there was the Hindenburg report. Sean, do you want to talk about Bitcoin here a little bit as well? It's not, there was a little bit of a pop there on BTC, but not a tremendous amount of follow through. I noticed Ethereum as well, all-time highs this morning.
Geez, since we called about Bitcoin first, let's just have a quick look here. You can go back. Let's just, let's do a daily chart just because it makes the most sense right now to look at it. It's just stuck. We've talked about this over and over again. Nice little win here on CEMI, first of all, as we turn bearish. And I told you guys, I go long and short, doesn't matter as long as we're good to go. I can't believe Ripple, I'm in the money 4x, and then ADA, we're in the money thousands percentage points. Crypto's nuts. Okay, so right here, look, it's we talked about looking at charts earlier, Brendan, and the 60,000, it's bump, right up to 60,000. It's coming back in. It just touched March 24th. It actually touched 50,000. That's only 2 weeks ago. We've made this move back in 2 weeks. I just think it's super strong. The fact that it's holding up right now just makes a hell of a lot of sense to me that we continue to look at Bitcoin and then just continue to watch it break 60. I think the next time it breaks 60, it probably goes. But again, if it doesn't, then you do have some protection back down to the downside of that 50,000. And it's like going long a stock at 60 and then having an out at 50. You have to start looking at Bitcoin more like an asset class rather than this something that, I'm not going to invest in it because it's Bitcoin. You have to be a little smarter than that, guys, and just watch the price action on all these things. Thank you for Brendan for bringing that up. But 2150, there it is, Brendan. There's the high right now happening right in our face for Ethereum. And again, just look how consistent this is. This broke through 2000, retested, then went right back to the moon again. Even if it goes back down, look at this as a $20 stock. If you buy something at 20, you guys are buying NFT stocks, this and that. Dolphin, crazy names like that at 30, 40, 50, then it drops to like $10 and we're like, what do we do? Like, could you imagine if crypto had that kind of moves in it? They don't anymore. It simply doesn't. I mean, it was 1,200 in January, and since then we're just creeping higher and higher to now all-time highs. So it's fading off a little bit. This is, basically what happens. I think we need to wait for the market to open up. And not only that, Brendan, but you also have NASDAQ, right? And we know that, look, big cap tech is moving. We know that there's a lot of now names, big banks, big everything getting into crypto. And I said that my percentage of my holdings were like, 7 to 10% now in crypto. I'm guessing with these moves, it's got a little higher, but guess what? Your boy ain't pairing any off. This party's just started.
All right, let's go to upgrades and downgrades for today. Some interesting ones on here once again. Snap on the watch list this morning with a overweight from Atlantic Securities. Wynn Resorts on here. All the hotels had big moves yesterday. Yeah, Morgan Stanley cutting Apple's price target today. Some energy names on here as well, guys.
Yeah, I mean, interesting, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, you get a price target cut like 156. I mean, that's still healthy, very, very healthy for Apple. We talked about Snapchat, and I think we've mentioned Wynn in some of those reopen plays, and I think it's going to be an interesting play for some of those, for some of the casino names. I think there's probably still room to run on a Wynn. Thank you for there we go. Is my chart loading? Load. There's the daily chart. Still some room to run. We're kind of rounding out and bouncing towards the upside here, towards that like 140 level. So it's probably not too late to get involved in casino plays. I do feel like it's going to be a similar road to like the airlines, at least in the next couple of sessions, where I'd much rather see us like form a little bit of support, hopefully higher lows at like 127, 128 in that particular case. There's a really good chance today's session for me will be dominated by, like, I'm already in CCL, so it's I don't know that I want to be like across like three different spaces. I mean, if I'm going to be looking reopen, and I like that dip in CCL, and I might have a look at the airlines, I'm probably not going to get involved and triple dip down in the casinos into that position. Now I want to go over if I can, because I know, Sean, you mentioned that semi. Let's get to some. We're both in this trade, I do believe here. So third time I've been short this stock this morning, starting to roll over, but it's a big 540 level from yesterday. I think that's worth going over, and the reason why. I like these day two plays. It shows you obvious levels. I was shorting that yesterday. You had this $5 big time support. Afternoon 540 level. It pushed off of that level. I love it when you get an open that basically gaps down below that support. And then I can just sort of not assume, but kind of bank on it being a little bit of resistance. So I was shorting some down moves at 20s. It popped up. I took too many shares short in front of 20, so I did relieve some for a couple of cents worth of a hit, and now going to hang on to the rest. Remember, this 5 even still has to break, and then from there, I already have a bid down at 475. Why? Pre-market action. The 7 o'clock ramp yesterday started at that 475 mark. So just a quick look at that CEMI day two type of play. Never sleep on those.
Yeah, no, I actually stepped in as well. So we're making that money. We're going to get out at 11s and then hopefully 5s and 550 as well. We definitely like all of that. Yeah, crypto right now falling down a little bit, back down to 2,100 and back down to 58.5 on Mr. BTC.
All right, guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you take a second and sign up for the watch list. Absolutely free to you. Every single morning, we get it out before we come on at 8:30. If you haven't done so, that is the website and the link you need to go to register for that website, or for the watch list, I should say. If you do need that, Valeria can help you out in the chat. Let's talk about some of these tech stocks once again. Mentioned them earlier, but Apple, guys, back on watch again this morning. Finally, it's been completely asleep over the past month and a half, doing not much of anything. Yesterday was really the first day we saw actual volume come in, an actual rally in Apple. There was some minor headlines, but nothing too significant.
No, yeah, there's the headline. I know we threw it in there about the Apple TV, 4K, whatnot. I don't necessarily think that's has anything to do with this move. It's just more where does safe money like to go in a situation like this, and it's starting to come back into the bellwether tech names at least. And we have yet to you show Microsoft at those highs, and then you look at Apple, and it's kind of random here, like a 127.25 or so, but still yet to break through, get above that 50 period, get above that 128. I mean, we're basically a 10% move off of that nice 116. Kudos to anyone that bought in there and didn't play late in the low 120s. But we still have room to break out, and I think that's why you're looking for this day 2 rally. You're not having to take out fresh highs in this particular name. And I think this is probably, if there's going to be a March led to the upside, it's going to have to include Apple breaking through this like 128 level. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that I'm gonna really, really love a 125 dip today, and just going into that up move from yesterday. You had a pullback into 125. It tried to break through and then held up rather nicely. Dipped a couple of times. Dipped one time into the close, just above that 125, more like a 125.50 hold. So if there's some sell action that comes in, I mean that's a defense that I'm going to really, really love to have here. It's a psychological level, 125. You had a dip support already in a big upward move yesterday, and then afternoon holding higher. So lots of ways to buy that dip in Apple if it does come through 125. But the big break is going to come at that 128.
Yeah, we wrote down here, you guys all will love it. It's a sticky note. We wrote down 128 there for Apple. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. But I mean, look, you'd be crazy not to really take out any kind of levels here. I mean, 126, 127. Really, the jump is 128. It's kind of an easy one if you look at a daily chart. I know Neil just went over it, but it's about, it's super, super clean. Just breaking through right here. It's the top. So it was the top a couple. When is this? The 23rd of February, and then it was the top again on March 2nd, and then we got to 127 back on March 16th, but it looks like we'll probably open to that 127. Look, I keep telling you guys, own it, don't trade it, and what I mean by that is not to don't trade it as a day trade, but don't get out of it. Just keep holding your Apple forever, and you will be fine. I mean, as I took my kid back to university yesterday, I mean, we talked about that, and he likes SoftBank, and we'll figure out why. But anyways, I think you should always own a little bit of Apple. Shakib, Cardano right now just took out 130 and bounced. So this is what Cardano looks like right now, and this is what your friendly giant looks like, BTC right now. So BTC going one way, Cardano going the other. I just wish they would switch prices.
Yeah, that would be nice. Let's have a look at the overall market. We'll bring in Arun here, check out the futures, understand a little bit about what we need to be aware of today. And for those asking, there's been a few people asking, Arun will be back during the afternoon. Not every day, but yes, he will be participating in the afternoon show, again, starting this afternoon. Arun, what's up for today?
Clarification, I believe that's tomorrow afternoon I'll be in. But for today, let's continue on with the futures market today. There's a lot that's happened overnight I find very interesting. Now, we found a pretty decent overhead just above the 40.70 level. So any sort of resistance up there seems to be a pretty decent chunk of selling up there. So anything above 40.70, I think, provides a decent possibility of a short. So I'm going to go ahead and mark off that 40.80 level as the stop. So now with that being said, I am looking for shorts, but not right now. There's a little bit of buying underneath that 40.60. I just want to see that disappear or at least get taken out. We are sitting there. We keep kind of attempting to take it out, but it's still holding well. So not just yet. So if we can get underneath 40.60 and actually keep the selling or keep the buying from bringing the market back a little bit, I think then at that point you can say the buying's gone. You can actually start attempting some sells. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a little patient. I'm going to look for some shorts, but I'm going to look for shorts underneath 40.60 if we can stay underneath 40.60 and not we don't keep bouncing back from it, because we are attempting to bounce back from it. So I'm going to wait a little bit more, but I am looking for shorts at the moment. Now for support to the downside, and this is why I would favor the shorts over the long, but I am going to be patient with it. But the reason I'm looking really for the short is there's really nothing to the downside. We are wide open. Given how the market moved yesterday, it didn't create any big points of interest for support. So that kind of leaves a window wide open, pretty much all the way down to 4,000. So if this short can actually hold well, then we have space to the downside. But again, it does have to hold, because right now we are attempting to stall and find some support around this 40.60. So that's the area I'm going to be keying off on and see how it trades around here. If we pick up more strength, then I think the shorts are off the table. But if we can actually get through and actually push the buys out of the way, then I think the shorts can come on. And I'm willing to put up 20 points for that kind of a shot.
Good stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. And yeah, to clarify, not every day, but yes, Arun will be a part of the afternoon show. Thank you, Arun. Coming up tomorrow afternoon, Arun will be on for the first time. Let's continue on with what we're watching this morning, heading towards the open. Yeah, we're under 30 minutes to go here before we get going. Microsoft, all-time highs yesterday. No additional news, just the group moving together. We learned last week of the $21 billion 10-year contract from the U.S. Army. But yeah, still some follow-through left, possibly today.
Yeah, I mean, the Bulls are not going to stop kicking on this name. This is one of the best, trades for right now. Inflation's not going to affect Microsoft. I mean, it will, but this is a big cap mover. This continues to make some money. You have Azure kicking. You have Xbox rolling. The new contracts from the government, they're in security, they're in privacy, they're in data, cloud. You can't really, unfortunately I have this wick here, you can't really beat this name, and I don't think you're going to. So why fight the trend? You have a huge move up there yesterday, but then it kind of just stayed pretty flat until the close, where it did tick down. We did see the market rip into the very close, but you did have a move down. And then the good thing about this all is that it closed at the high of the day, basically. I mean, whether or not you talk about 250 or where we closed yesterday, 249.30 or so, we're right there. You have a huge monster level of 250. So I'm going to use this 249.50 or so as a breaking spot, but I do like 250. And I think it's a it is a psychological level. So if you are looking for a short in Microsoft, like Arun just mentioned, maybe that's it. Maybe you can short now. If you don't believe in this market, we have come down off some highs, 13,605. We have come down. Like Arun said, it's wide open to the downside. We could test lower. So if you believe in that you could almost take a short off the open into 249, 249.50, and then just use this all-time high, guys. I have a chart up here. I'll call this up for you in a second. You can see the daily chart. Looks a little bit better if I use the eSignal platform for this. You can see right now, this is all-time highs. We broke out yesterday. We talked about that. And then we touched out at, I think it was 249.89 or something like that. 249.96 actually yesterday as I look. So we're 4 cents away from 250. So if you wanted to dance with the devil, you can short this thing into 250. Just make sure you get out. For me, I'd rather it come back into this 245. I don't think that happens today. So you either wait for a pullback in, which it's kind of happening now. And if you did like that level, I mean, yesterday we just smoked it to the upside. Really no resistance at all. Once we broke this 245, there's not even really a stopping point here. We may have stopped at 247, but I think every dollar there's a little bit of news. And then right there again at 248-ish right here before taking off. So you could use 248, 247 as a downside move. But hey, look, Microsoft is a beast. I'm looking for it to break through 250 today.
Yeah, I like the break. If there's a dip, I like Apple on the dip. Microsoft had that a little more outsized move, I think. Maybe you get a 245. I'll probably be in Apple if that's the case anyways. I'm not short on 250. I would agree with you that the setup looks pretty good. I always feel like that setup, I'm going to have it like somewhere else on a stock I'd rather short. And it's just almost always going to be true. And I used to feel that way and take the trades on Tesla, but they have to be like really perfect. But 250 is a trade that we can't ignore. I'm going to have that break to the long side. But if it dips, 245 is certainly a good look. I'll probably be into Apple anyways at that point. So unless I really, really love what's going on in the market basing out, I'm not going to necessarily double dip. I do want to come back if we can, because I know Brendan had brought that E-bond, and your trade must be like redonkulous at this point because it's 620 break. And I remember we talked about it, like I was actually going to try to short on any kind of strength. It never even got to like to the 85 or back into the 90s, 590s. So I got one fill at 75. I was trying to offer to get if it would pop back up. It didn't. It's been only going straight down. We're already at that 540 mark. There isn't a heck of a lot. We showed like 440 to the downside there. If these levels can't hold, maybe a 5 even or something like that. But either way, E-bond getting punked by Hindenburg this morning and continues to fall like a rock.
Yeah, continues very, very weak so far for EBON. We'll check back in on that in a little bit. Moderna, guys, back on the move this morning, back higher. We won't look at it yet because there's not a lot of volume, but they did double or say they were going to double their COVID-19 vaccine production and will be able to produce at least 100 million doses by May is what they're saying for Moderna. Let's go to Snapchat. Big Atlantic Equities upgrade. Double upgrade, in fact. They had their rating at neutral. They went to overweight on Snap shares. Whole bunch of price target changes on this stock today. The median or middle around 75.5 for price targets on, this one, Snap, up 3%, guys.
This is Semi. I want to talk about EBON. You guys remember yesterday, we just talked about EBON, but you guys remember second day plays. We talked about that with Apple today, but yesterday I called this was like the easiest play of the day, and it was that 750 short, and then we cashed out $1. It went all the way down to 630, 640, 650. So watch out for EBON. There's size on the bid, but off that offering. Good look by you guys, but that call yesterday, guys, if you ever want to hold something over time, that one I did stamp that yesterday. Snapchat, though, guys, today, big mover, obviously. I think it has the potential. It's not moving. I guess it's moving. It's up about $1.20. Come on, Snap. So it's up about $1.20 right now. This is another one of those old tech, new tech, but hasn't moved, so it's still waiting to take off here. That is Snapchat. A nice little move to the upside, but look at the daily chart. Like we talked about Apple, lagging behind. Google new highs, Facebook new highs, Microsoft new highs, Snapchat nowhere near new highs. So if you're going to get your money into something that you believe should play catch up, then I like Snapchat here. It looks like it's made a nice bottom through 50. We worked out a couple issues. And if you're a long-term investor, I may actually step into Snapchat today now that I look at this and as I talk myself through this, my own theory here. I think it has to pick up, and I think it can get to 50-period moving average, and then I think we break 364. So if you guys want to trade off of some of my recommendations, I'm going to look at it a little bit closer, and I will tweet it out. But if I am going to buy some Snapchat, it may be today. And for the show, I like a 56 break. Just makes sense. Again, it's an even dollar. I would obviously rather have this thing come back a little bit. I don't like playing breakouts lately, but when you get upgrades, good news coming through, it just, it seems like this is a no-brainer here, breaking back through. If the market does happen to fall, which I sort of think we may do that off the open, then you got to watch out because it's just a small upgrade. So it can fall back to 54 for sure. So we'll put some orders around here, 54.50, things like that, just to see if it does test. But then I do like a 56 break. And then the reason why we had semi up is we did get out of 20% of this at 10. And now we're bouncing around 6, 7, 8. My next bid is at 6.
Yeah, just going back to Snap for a second here, I want to show you guys this little bottom on the 15-minute chart. This is going to be back at the 22nd, 54.65. So that's my dip. That's a dip by price that I like for Snapchat. And then keep in mind in the daily chart, remember the flush out that we had on March 5th? We started talking about some names to pick up there, and you can go back and forth between Snap and Twitter. But any buying on that second day is now getting back into that break even. So you held that bag all the way into what was fantastic. I shouldn't say obvious because 48 double bottom, but it holds this 48 there, and now you're looking to break back up. It's key. These were the prices right at this 54, 55 that on that snap back from the 5th. We finally made that breakout on Snapchat. So if it were to consolidate here, I wouldn't be too shocked, but for me, I got to have that dip at 54.65 if there's going to be a second leg to this and more participation in the tech rally, taking off the top, 56 break. I don't mind it. Actually, I have it down, and I'm going to put an order in to make sure I get it, but I'm going to like that dip at 54.65 a heck of a lot better. And it might end up being a theme today, and that's fine. We're flat on day 2, so sometimes you got to pull back off the open to continue the rally. That's why I'm sort of anticipating a chance to do that on a few names here today.
All right, guys, we'll continue along here. Facebook back on watch as well. I want to show you this chart because we're right here. It's ever so close to that's all-time highs right there. So just hovering right below it, as we mentioned early on this morning. I mentioned about halfway through the show yesterday, there was a report or a headline that came out talking about 500 million Facebook users on a data breach. That was actually from 2019. So they actually reported it as it was current, but it was actually data from a couple of years ago. So nothing to see here. They said everything is fine as you were for Facebook. And as we saw, all-time highs for FB.
I can't believe we were able to get Facebook yesterday at 302. We were long Facebook yesterday, 302. You guys remember that right here. This is where we bought, and then we had a question in our Ask Us Anythings after the show. Again, members only ask us anything, and they talked about this VWAP dip buy, and I talked about it. Again, thank you to Kevin. Kevin says it sounds like Sean had a breakout intervention, and no, it's just called studying, and it's actually funny, Kevin. So, but yeah, no, I researched a few things, and the trading's been getting so much better, on my end right now, and I'm taking less risk as well. So back down in here, we had that VWAP break, and then we had the break of the all-time high of 304 as well, and then you saw this rip up. So there you go. So yesterday, top to bottom, an $8, $9, $10 move that I had on board for you, and then also the 304 break. Hey, look, whether or not we continue to break out on Facebook or not, I said yesterday that data breach was absolutely nothing, and it comes out today that it is absolutely nothing. And I just keep wanting these guys to breach data and to keep going up on Capitol Hill, because I just think that, hey, look, whatever they're doing is working. I'm long this thing at 270. It sucks if you're into privacy. Then don't sign up for Facebook. Don't use their platforms if you don't want to. I dare you. But we'll see here. 310 now to the upside. And look, barcoding action right now. Obviously a dip down into this area yesterday's afternoon, 307-ish, I think needs to be bought if you did have anything, any ideas of a downward move today, which I think we'll get a little bit anyways. So I like Snapchat better, I like Apple better, but for now, Facebook does have a beautiful bottom at 307. And I only talk about Facebook in a way that people are very concerned about their privacy, but you kind of know that before you get into Facebook. And so that's part of the thing. I just think Facebook has been so empowering. And if anybody's watching this and you're a small business, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There's not too many areas right now that you can even advertise in. Facebook has been a blessing for a lot of these. They introduced Facebook Shops, as you know. Instagram, they've added links to be able to shop on there. It just makes it easier for the small business. It makes it easier for those working at home. You know, it's like an Etsy, but now it's on Facebook. Like, you don't think Etsy and Pinterest are selling your information? Good one, guys.
Yeah, I mean, like that's the other thing too about it. Like I'm a believer in Pinterest, maybe a little bit more over Etsy, but everyone's going into this understanding exactly what's at stake. Now, I favor the dips and to the breakouts, and like I already said, it's probably going to be Apple today. It's just based on looking at the chart and what I happen to like for some of the levels. But Facebook, look, if you get 305, I think that's fantastic. The one thing that would concern me is already got a dip buy in Carnival Cruise Lines, looking at something in the airlines, and then you go all three of the big tech names. It's like, well, at that point, you might as well just buy the Qs on a dip instead of pick a name, right? So just sort of keep that in mind when you're trading some of these. If you like all three of them right around the same price, and then you get a dip in Microsoft that rounds out at a level you like. You get Facebook rounding out at 305. You get Apple rounding out at 125. I don't know, just punch on the Qs of the SPY, and you'll probably just ride the market wave as well. So it's going to be the dip buys for me today. If they're all flat across the board, I just think Apple looked the most appealing in terms of safety on that dip. But Facebook, there's really no issues here. We should talk about Pinterest at some point. We'll get to that maybe a little later on if we have time.
Let's jump over to those cruise lines that we were mentioning there. The travel group in general, very strong here in the pre-market. Again this morning, we saw them leading the market overall higher on Monday. NCLH coming out this morning talking about a two-pronged approach to get back sailing, specifically in the U.S. If you remember going back about 3 weeks ago, the CDC came out and reiterated their stance on cruise lines operating in the U.S., saying they're not going to change their stance, which was November. So they put a date of November of this year on when they will be able to get back to cruising. But Norwegian talking about if all passengers are vaccinated, then they essentially went to the CDC and said, can we please get back to work?
Yeah, they're basically, I mean, look, they're begging at the end of the day. I don't know if any deadlines are actually going to get pushed, but I've already given sort of my look here on Carnival. And we looked at NCLH, and we've talked about RCL and some of the other names. I just feel like it comes down to volume for me, and that's what Carnival Cruise Lines has basically been giving us at 500,000 shares today. It's just a little bit. I find it easier to trade in terms of looking at the levels and what we like to see in terms of liquidity as well. So the reasons for liking this 28 level, I go right back into, and again, it's the same days I'm looking at overall. Like that 22nd, you had the round off towards the bottom. This was that first sort of roll over into that move into the 25th. I like that 28. It was a bit of a top there. You had a double bottom a couple of sessions to go off of that level. And then we held that at the end of the show. I remember saying if we break and hold below 28, I think it's going to be a pullback and gap fill on CCL. It held, came right back, closed at 28.11. That's close to the price that I got right now at 28.15 in terms of a dip buy. So that's what I'm working with. I like defending that that sort of, not afternoon, but I guess like noon or 11:45 bottom here, and then this pre-market low here at 27.90, guys. So that's where my out is going to be off the open. I'll buy into it and then see if we can't get a bit of a rally. What I love about this, I can go to that 28.50 and I can easily scalp off anywhere from like 20 to 40 cents worth of profit without it even taking out that high. So I like that setup on CCL, but I won't give it through that bottom at 27.90. And if it goes to 28, fine. But I want to make sure we're holding at least a little bit below that.
CCL, yeah, I was just looking at charting here. Yeah, I mean, here's the 27.90. I love that short. And again, it's just a matter of what comes next, right? This 28.50, which will be a hammer time. And again, like, I don't have a problem telling you guys that when we're going to trade and actually put on some shares. So this 28.50 makes a hell of a lot of sense to me, taking that out. So let's wait to see what happens off the open. We'll see if it can get there. I hope it doesn't. I hope it like sits around here and then takes off, and we can hit that, make sure that we know what's happening with CCL. But as I look at the board, small buy. So there it is, small buy. Already 600,000 shares plus 140. It's starting to get paired off. I'm not really sure why Palantir's a buy, but it is, and we'll get to that in a minute. Oh, shoot. Brendan, it's only 9 minutes. What happened to the open here? It's
flying by, guys. I want to jump back to Viacom CBS here if we can. We talked about it early on, but lots of people still joining us this morning. Great to see everyone coming along this morning. If you haven't done so, make sure you hit subscribe, guys. We're so close to 200,000 subscribers on YouTube. Let's talk Viacom CBS. Yeah, Credit Suisse said to be shopping big blocks again today. You can see it right there, 34 million, 14 million, and 11 million. They give the rough estimate of pricing as well they're looking for. But it could be another one of those days on Via C.
Could be, and I think it will be, Neil. I don't know what you think, but I really think that Viacom right now does break through that 41. We did talk about this 41 down here, and it stopped, went to 40. Resisted, did not come down, but there's still a ways to go here. This was all hedge fund shenanigans, borrowing to buy, borrowing to buy, borrowing to buy, get called on your borrow, buy. And buy is not to buy, it's buy profits as we go all the way back down on margin calls. And if they do get squeezed out here, man, this is a big one. 41, I just, I like that level. It's not that it's even a technical level. It's more just that 41 is going to be a spot where we're going to test. It's going to test 41. It's already been down to 41.50 today. I like that break even more, but I just think it's going to happen before we get there. And then you wait, and then you just wait for this 40, and you see what's going to happen. The low looks like it's 39.70 there on that day, so that's what I'm going to wait for. A 20-minute chart shows you the exact same thing. And this one, 39.70. It's this wick. It's the second. You guys see that? Yeah. It's the first wick that happened before it retraced and then hit down. So that first bouncing spot was 41. I just don't think we hold it. That's all. I think we break through 41. We get out like 40 and a quarter. Even if we take 50 cents, we take 50 cents. And then we wait to see what happens at this 39.70. I really think Viacom's in trouble today. We'll wait to see what the imbalance is at 9.28. But for right now, man, Viacom, big time problems. If that block goes off well and it's well received and it they hit the market with it flat and it absorbs it, then hopefully we'll be able to see some block prints go off, give us an idea, and then we go long. But for right now, I'd rather go 41 short than 42 long. Yeah,
like if it explodes on volume and doesn't break 41 to the downside, I mean, at that point, remember we talked about that 43 level, and that was post-halt on that crazy flush down day. That was the last downward halt. It halted to the upside after that, and then held 43. So that would be the price that I think you're looking for. I wouldn't go long anything but 43 unless we're literally at $35. So you can count me in for the shorts on Viacom. Although I would say I'd be willing to short the low of the day if it's still like 41.40 and we're hanging there like a couple of minutes after the open, but we can't seem to make any legs to the upside. I just want to quickly, we only have a few minutes left, and I just got this one, which is at the bottom of our watch list, which is WEI. Just got this one into the short side. I was waiting for like a 175 pop or into 180, and then it just made a move into that price for me here, guys. So I was trying to get this in the pre-market. I couldn't do it. It bounced off 165. I've been waiting at 175 basically all morning long. So got that one. It's getting some out at 170 all the way down to 165. 150 ultimate target. 141 is where it closed in yesterday's action. But this name also on our watch list. Brennan?
At Trader TV, Randy, hard at work, right behind Neil there. In the shot, CMI, guys, back to the downside. It looks like this morning we had a tight little consolidation at the end of the day yesterday. It held below 6. This thing did so much volume yesterday. It's worth a look again today. We are, as I said, gapping down, holding 5 right now. A move into 550. This is 550, which is that support would be worth a look on CEMI. Randy, I saw new car sales in Norway last month. 56% EVs. Guys.
There's Randy saying nuts, by the way. Hard at work as always. I didn't even notice him back there, which shows you a little focus on the trades here. We're trying to get you guys the action. CMI, you can't say enough that it's holding that 5. I've had to get a bunch of shares out here in the 507 to 510 range, and I still have bids all the way through 5. I'm trying to hold this thing through a 5 break, but I do have an order to take more shares in the event that 5 goes. If it pops from here, I've got my 925 to 930 sort of rule going on. I'm not going to average into a short at this time of day. If it pops up, I'm going to give it all the way to 540. And if it stalls around that 540 price, that's when I want to try to get back into this. So CMI, I'm still holding some shares here to the short side. And just to come back over to the EBON, this thing just continues to fall. It's ridiculous. If it gets to 5 even, I'm taking it off. But I missed a shot to get a short pop at 560, thinking I would get something at that 575 price. So it feels like you just gotta chase this. It's the only way to get in. The only thing that's not working for me currently in the pre-market here, I want to come back over to Roblox if I can. This was one strong mover yesterday. It's right in a similar range. Of course, that's RBLX. It's right in the same range that we're looking at, that 71 to 71.25 area. That was such an interesting defense for us. So if we can hold 71, that's the look I have off the open here. If it breaks that price, iceberg alert, that was at 70 even. It was all kinds of buying with an iceberg order at 70. Simply it was a 10-cent spread. We just paid the spread to go long, and then you got that nice move off of that level earlier on in the session. Sorry, this is back here at 10:30. You got that move all the way into 73, which is the other level we mentioned in our preparation. So I'd be flat going into the 73 and looking for 73 as its own level break in RBLX. WEI already working down towards that 165, 167. So we could have a bunch of that already out before this open, Sean.
I also like we talked about Neo yesterday. Yeah, good look there on Roblox. I mean, I like it. My kid is all over Roblox. He's super happy. He's in the money now on his Roblox trading. So, okay, 38.70 here on Neo. We identified that as weak yesterday, and today I talked about NASDAQ when Arun was on there and just after Arun, and I said that, I thought that there was a downward pressure here on the NASDAQ today. We were only up about 0.1, so we turned that red now down 0.07. So watch out. Neo, we'll see. I don't want to be, again, it's a breakout, but it's a breakdown, but it's a breakout to the downside here, 38.70. So we'll see. Again, it's not going to be a big position. I'd rather put some shares on, see if I can't average into a short, somewhere up in this area. And if it fails around this 39.50, 39.60, then we have 40 to look at. So we'll put some short offerings up on the upside here, 39.50-ish, right around here, and just see what happens for Neo, just in case there is a rip off the open. I like a Facebook break through 310.50. We've talked about that. There's still some room. That's the all-time high from yesterday, 310.50. Whether or not it gets there or not, we'll wait. Like I said, I'm a little bit here worried about NASDAQ coming to the downside. With that being said, we do have Apple bids, man, 125. Now we're at 126. Apple just took off, but we were looking at maybe down here for a 125 defense. Same on Snap, and then we do have a small. Oh, actually didn't put it in yet. Snapchat looking to break through.
Not there yet.
Okay, it's 928. Let's quickly look at the NASDAQ imbalances, as that was something that was important for us today. CTRM, Cisco on the sell side. There's Apple with a buy. And then a quick look at the imbalances on the New York side of things. Everything gold today. And then there's Palantir. We'll talk about that as well with just over 1 minute to go, guys.
Yeah, we're locked and loaded, sort of ready on multiple stocks. Now, I have a few more positions maybe than normal. Got 5 of them. I'm probably not going to be adding anything that's not on on this list. It would probably have to be Apple. I'm no longer taking the break in Snapchat. I'll go with the dip buy just because I do have a few more than we're maybe used to like having at the open. Usually it's like 3 or 4. I got 5 on right now. A couple of them are small cap names I don't think we're too concerned about, so let's keep that in mind. But Snapchat is approaching that 56 break. This is that time of day when breakouts never work for me. Right at 9:29, guys. So I'm backing away from a 56 breakout and I'm going to move up my dip buy and maybe move it in front of that 55 area. I actually have it here down at like 54. 80 is my first entry. I'll probably move that into that 55. I like 54.65 as a level of defense on Snapchat, so I'm going to still stick with that, guys. And then I still have that CCL. It's basically flat on the dip. I like that 27.90. That's going to be the price that I look to defend. If it breaks further than that, we'll have to reassess. Ready to drop the countdown? I can only assume Randy's going to be on the bell this morning because Miss V is next to me. You never know what he has in store, but it's always a lot of fun. What is it?
And we have a monster winner already, guys. Snapchat. Yeah. Okay, Randy. Okay, Randy, thank you so much. We already have a monster winner on Snapchat. Superman is in the building. Bang! The only one that we talked about with here on our chat. Look at that. Snapchat 56 with the star on it. That's a 55-cent winner. We just took out 80 cents on that break. So good trade for Snapchat. Let's see what we can get off that move. Now going to the high side. Neo breaks the bottom. So let's see what Neo does today, guys.
Yeah, see, Neo breaks the bottom. CCL holding at least for now. Roblox with a bit of a bounce to the upside. So I got more shares at 71. We're able to take some out in front of that new high of the day. You can see I have orders. If we break 71.50 on Roblox, I want to get it all out in front of 73. That's going to be that key level. I can tell you that Apple, on the other hand, it's a bit of a pullback, but this ain't much. So I guess we're not going to see that 125 in the first couple of minutes here on Apple. Not that big of a pullback. eBond still showing all kinds of weakness here, guys. Still on the lows in front of 5 even. I said I'd take it off in front of 5, so I'm going to throw a bid down there. I might look for a break. If it breaks 5 even, I might even short more shares through there. But I'm going to cover if I can get like a 503 to 505 area on eBond. What an unbelievable short that was if he had 6s.
And talking about some unbelievable trading right here. Look at Snapchat, $1 and change in the money already as we go one-time daily goal. We go to a little belly dance to start the day off here, and we're just still ripping, guys, on Snapchat. So that's an absolutely fantastic trade for that. I mean, we picked that out right here on the sticky note through 56. So now we'll wait here. Another number there. This one could fail. 38.70 on Neo. We just took some out at 60s. Now we'll wait for a little lower as the NASDAQ coming off now. So let's see if Neo can get down. This is a complete opposite trade, it looks like today. NASDAQ coming down and Neo not really moving too much to the downside. So maybe today it's opposite day for Neo like it was yesterday off the open. But I'm still watching this like a hawk, guys.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this like Viacom here in a quick second. We'll go back to it, but 42.50. It's heading towards that 43. WEI pushing towards the lows. I remember 150 was a target. Got that 175. It's already at 162, so this is trending over to the downside. But looks like Viacom catching a bit of a bid here. And look, we said if there was any weakness, I wanted to short it. You wait for the breakdown because clearly on a volume spike, we're headed towards that 43 area. That's a monster breakout area. If I'm going to be bearish on the stock, it's going to be hard for me to resist a rollover. If I see any share size at 43, I'm going short off of that level. If it can be at 75 even, I take the short. It might even turn here and I'll take a little shot at it into that 43 area. So that's a big level on Viacom, and we're right into it in seconds.
Okay, so Snapchat's still ripping, man. Still $1 plus in the money. We got to be careful with it, though. We have no idea where it wants to go from here. It's already quite up. We got out 57.20 already, so that was a good trade for us. We did empty a little bit out here of our Neo at the downside there when it was at 50. It did resist that 50, so now we may be heading to the upside, especially on a NASDAQ move. That hasn't happened to the upside, even though Neo seems to be resisting it. So that's one very, very key spot for us. There goes Facebook, 310.50, a new spot for us. What's up to somebody? Was that Brendan?
Yeah, Viacom, guys, so strong. I want to show you this one, though. Foonware as well. Big mover so far this morning. They've authorized Bitcoin purchases for blockchain ecosystem, whatever that means. Foonware, 36%, guys, straight higher, monster volume coming into PHUN.
Boom. And there goes Facebook, guys. We already just took some out there on a quick break. Now we're up to 310, 311, sorry. We're long at 310.50. Let's just see if this goes, man. We took out a third there, so no skin off our back. Let's just see what we want to do here with Facebook. CEMI, now 15 cents in the money. That's another Superman kind of play, guys.
Yeah, I just got some, like I said, I get a bunch of shares out in front of 5 even. I'm adding on a 5 even break. This is not one of those to get flat in front of it. So if it had popped, I would have shorted into it at 540 after the open. I can tell you, I did get into that Viacom now. I did not wait for 43. I just feel like, look, if it comes back in, you're trying to take over $1 on a trade like this, at least that. So you got to be willing to risk at least like 30, 40 cents. And if it rolled over from there, I was perfectly happy to take it. Keep in mind, we got that price from when it had that big flush in and turned at 40. 43 was a key area on the way back in. I tell you, CCL does break 27.90, but it was like a bit of a fail break, goes down 5 cents below, and then recovers. If that ever happens, I'll start building exactly the same price as before. It breaks 28 again. I just got long at 15s. I'll do the same trade using the new low. That's my second crack at CCL. Viacom for now holding on the short.
Okay, and so just an update here. We do have Snapchat now $1.50. Watch out, V. $1.50 now in the money, so that's still going on. CME, Neil just talked about that. That's a big trade for us as well, nicely in the money. But Neo not. We're going to get out if this breaks back above 39. So that's going to be a place to look out for here on this name. If it goes, great. We did get our Apple trade down here low, now 125.76. So definitely some opportunities there as well. What up, B?
We mentioned cruise lines, guys. NCLH starting to go here, just popping up on volume 3050, the pre-market high coming into play, guys.
I was too slow for that reload on CCL, but the plan of action usually on these plays, like when it breaks that low, snaps right back, and pardon the pun, because Snapchat today was a fantastic look there, Sean. But breaks that low, barely goes anywhere, then snap back in. I should have had 28. I didn't get anything until 28.15. I'll defend 28 once again. I'll work some shares out in front of that high there. That's going to be the name of the game. Just to go back to that small cap name, WEI. I don't know if we grab this one. Make sure you're following the watch list. This is a Chinese fintech name. It's a micro cap. So you do trade this with a little bit of caution. Although liquidity, what I like about it, thank you, Level. Thank you for not flipping here. There we go. Liquidity is actually very, very solid on WEI, despite the fact it's a micro cap. So I only had the one entry at 175. I didn't sell into it when it popped to the same level off the open. Of course, we were busy trading a few other things at that time. If it does come back, I do like reloading in front of that 175 area this time if I can get it, but I'm not sure the market wants to give me another crack at it.
Okay, so we did reload here a little bit on Facebook. We got a little low print here, so let's see what that wants to do. We do have Apple. Apple again, guys. Just keeps on going to the upside here. Apple, 125.76. Here's another winner for you. Up more. 25, 30 cents now in the money on Apple. So, of course, we want to have a little bit more than that, but we'll see. It was a lagger. We picked the bottom there. We talked about why. So let's see if we can't cash ourselves out a little bit here. 07s, there it is. We'll take a little bit more out as, the cash cow just keeps coming in, man. Big time trading on Snapchat today, $1.20 in the money. We just picked up some more Facebook on this bottom. Look at that bottom pick right there, 308.30. Let's reward ourselves with $1 on that move as well. Straight to the upside if we can get those 309.50s. Facebook, wow, it's a fast mover.
Yeah, lots of fast movers. Got the stop wick. And again, if you have a plan of action, stop wick down here on RBLX. It's now come all the way back out to take the tops. I like this for the long. Talked about it on the week. Managed to get it yesterday. Today, we're going to bungle it. I'm going to buy anything back into 71.25 area. Probably starting this one a little bit shy of that 71.40, which was the previous pre-market lows. You might have heard me say CME was continuing to die. Yeah, so we added through that 5 even area. We still had some shares from 520. We added through 5 even. We're taking shares out of 490. I don't have an obvious target. I mean, certainly 450 would stand out. You do see some consolidation on the daily on that particular price. This all did start on a 350 move, so 350 into about 550. Halfway is what price? Yeah, that's right, 450. So I'm going to bid a bunch of shares out in front of 475. Certainly take it all out in front of 450. If you get that 10% return on a stock like this, you always got to be happy with it in small cap land.
Yeah, are you talking about CME there?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we're short, guys.
Is that how you pronounce it? I don't even know.
518 right now, so yeah, that was a good trade. And we just cashed them out, 494, hell yeah, on that one. So like we said, man, big cap, small cap. Like look at the stocks we have. Big cap, Apple, huge win. Big time win. CME, I don't even know, what is that, a micro cap? Who knows? Facebook, another large cap stock that I'm trading. Neo, a mover, we're trading that one. And then we got Snapchat, the biggest trade here on board today for $1.50. 50 winner at the top. Still needs some work to go. What up, Beep?
Saw this one yesterday, guys. Greenbox, GBOX, back to all-time highs again today. It's a payment processor, a point-of-sale payment processor. They increased their estimates for payments processed all year long to $1.2 billion yesterday, which is 10x what it was prior to that. So $18 just breaking there on volume on GBOX.
GBOX. Okay, well, add that one to the list. That was not on my watch. I promised, and apologies, guys. I said we'd talk a little bit about Pinterest. I wanted to get to it very quickly. Should have had this one as a break. I'm a believer in the name. I love the flush out that, well, I don't love a flush out, but I love the way that it broke up yesterday with a bit of a flush and then a push to the upside. I do think if it gets anywhere close to like first 85, you're probably going to have some consolidation off there, but got to be a buyer of any dips here in Pinterest, as it absolutely took off like a rocket. Wasn't anticipating that big of a move, but it's this recovery off the flush out that I really, really liked as a bit of a look. If you catch anything close to like 81s on a dip back in, I'm going to have this name today. So apologies, I said we get to it. Didn't have enough time. I got burned by the fact that I had 5 positions going into the morning there. That does limit some things, and Pinterest was definitely a missed one on the board because of it.
Yeah, we have 5 positions right now, so we might have to get a little light. We're out 20, 40, 60, 80, so we're out of almost everything right now on Apple. We still have that 20%, so that's been obviously a good little runner for us. NEO continues to go. Something on pink sheets called NLST. 1.9 million shares. We've traded it a little bit, but I just want to bring that to your attention because Jeff did mention it to us. So that's Jeff Mendel from OTC Markets, NLST, over there on pink sheets moving around today. So if you want to have a look at that. AMC as well, 1050 right now, not moving too much. You know what, forget it. Let's just check back on Facebook. My out's going to be this 307.50. We do have a VWAP trade to hopefully get out if it does decide to go. But right now, NASDAQ, Brendo, not doing too much.
Farfetch, guys, this one trying to do something. Just broke $50 there and starting to hold. Big move down the aftermarket yesterday. They updated their current quarter guidance ahead of earnings, so it was actually negative. But we're right back to where we were yesterday. FTCH.
Thanks a lot, Brendan. Farfetch, a good look there. And we'll go back to the cruise space here. Give a little props to the high day on CCL. It just got like 5 pennies shy of that, like 3 pennies shy of that. I took some shares off at 35. The high was at 38. I like the dip. I'm going to go ahead and pick some more shares up in the teens. That's what we're able to get the second time through here at 28.15. It should have been 28. Let's be honest about that. We know we like that recovery on those failed breakdowns. Just didn't get it quite to it early enough. But a winner is going to be a winner. I'm throwing some bids all the way from like the 05 range into like 28.15 on any kind of a dip. I want to be picking this up. We're still flat in the overall market. I just want to point out here, it's a second push down. Apple bounced off 125.60. So this is a second push down. I'm sitting in front of 125 here at about the 30 range. I might have to get a little bit more aggressive in this move. Maybe use the first leg in front of this current low on Apple. So it could be a first stab here. It's not that I still love getting in front of 125, but I'm going to take a shot here off of this current low, this 125.60 area.
What
if
price
it holds
do you
there.
have?
I just got 82s.
Okay, so we had the same idea. So I got 76s earlier, and then it ripped up, and we were able to get that 50 cents. But like Neil's mentioning here, some of these tech names are coming back down. Yeah. So the only one that's not was really like one of our best trades, and the one that we had mentioned here on our sticky note, with right in that middle with the star there, Snapchat starred upside with that 56 there. The Neo to the downside has worked, but it's just not been great. That one was a good one, man. 56 long, wow, on Snapchat. And I actually even said to you guys, pick some up in your own accounts if you could on that Snapchat 56 break. Of course, I'm on the show. I can't do it until we're off the show, but let's just get some out now, man. I mean, this is a pretty high move. Actually, let's hold it. What if the NASDAQ continues to rip here? Then this will probably go. Our Facebook holding out as well, guys. What's up, B?
Headlines out on GM, guys. Looks like while we were talking in the pre-market there just before the open, looks pretty positive. They were updating some foreign forecasts as far as sales are concerned, and also current year EV growth in China. So all pretty positive here. Yeah, so is GM pretty positive, up more than 1%, guys. Straight higher so far.
We'll go with bulls as we're. Can we get some green action here? I mean, the Nasdaq and the ES both sort of teetering. Apple makes a breakthrough 126. I do take some off there for a bit of a scalp trade, and then we'll take a few more shares off at 126.25 if it happens to go. This is like a first defense. I like 125 a heck of a lot better, but either way, I like the bounce play here. I don't think we got to BTX, guys. I trade this in the pre-market, mixed success, good short, took the rest out for a hit. I never hold these long, so I scalped a bit of a long. Be careful. This is another macro cap here, Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics. The only catalyst I saw was that there were some firms increasing their stake in it. I didn't see anything other than that, so I'm going to probably stick to the short side of this trade. It wasn't too expensive, but about 16 cents a share for us to short. I like this previous bottom that it had at 8 even, and we're trying to retake it here. It just gave another fail at that price. I'm going to start getting a position at 8 even. I think you actually have to give this close to like an 850 area before you're wrong, but this was a $4.70 stock at the close yesterday. That does give you some potential upside. It's just likely to be a big time mover. If it pushes into 9, I'll be out long before that. This is one of those names that could potentially give you some halts, especially if it goes upside.
And look at this trade on Facebook here, guys. A good one, finally. We'll see if it goes back into the money, but we did pick up some nice little bottom picks there as we noticed the NASDAQ trying to go, and then as you can see, out. Right there. So this is a 36 buy, a 50 buy. We're out on $1 on the upside there. So a nice little dollar win there for Facebook to the upside. Apple, Neil just talked about that. That's still ripping. The CEMI, man, great trade on that one as that looks to continue to go downside there. We did get another piece out above 5, but now down. I don't have any more bids to go on this name. So we'll wait to see how high this wants to fly, if it wants to go up at all. Maybe it doesn't. Look at the look at the NASDAQ now going. We may have topped out on Snapchat here at 58, so let's just keep an eye on that one. We're out of it. We literally have that 20% left. There's 2 outs here, so I guess one of these is a double out because that's 20, 40, 60, and I know I only have 10% left, 20% left. So good trade on Snapchat, but it is coming back in. Let's wait to see what it does at this 57 level. I mean, we're long 56. We got a little bit of wiggle room here, guys.
Yeah, and I immediately on the tape move my stop to 825 on that BTX. It's just too strong, guys. So I'm going to I'll take a smaller hit than I was before, but when I see that kind of strength, I kind of run away from the name. It's not going to be the same case here. I missed the rollover. I can cancel this offer. WEI has just moved down to 155. At this point, if I were to sell at 173, it would be moving 10% to the upside to fill me. If that were to happen in like a minute or two, you're risking getting short into a halt. If you guys were watching the show last week, that's probably a bad idea. I got burned on that in a certain ACY, which I hadn't been trading the last couple of days. So cancel that offer. If it moves back into those prices, I can have a level 2 up and then work back into that position. But that's the one that I don't think there's any worry with whatsoever. No worries in Apple yet. I mean, we're not green.
Never.
Let's go. We're not green in the market, but Apple trying to hold above 126. Like I said, I took some more shares out at that 126 quarter, so that's about like a 50-cent scalp. I want to hold through a break. I want to buy the dips and then hold through a break on the high of the day. I don't want to take the breakout at the high. I'd rather already be long and buying dips. Brendo?
I feel like it's been a while since we've had a SPAC to talk about, guys. Murdoch Capital acquisition. I saw somebody mention this in the chat early on if we were going to trade this MUDS, MUDS, up 10%. Decent volume here at the open, trying to hold below 11 right now, but they're taking playing card or sports card maker, Topps, public in a merger with a SPAC, guys.
Yeah, let me know when Topps is getting in the NFT game, because that's the future of playing cards. But anyways, that's neither here nor there.
It's Top Shots.
Yeah, Top Shots. But yeah.
Yeah. I'm already all over Top Shots, guys. It's fun. I mean, like I said yesterday, I haven't put any money in it, but check out Top Shots. It's the Mark Cuban based idea, not based, but invested in idea there. They use the Bitcoin, they use the blockchain to put the cards up, and it's just super fun. But you can't get packs, so you got to go to the marketplace and get screwed over on prices. Okay, Apple, still that 25 cents. We have Snapchat closing it out. If it does break back down below 57 there, I mean, I'm thinking about just taking it off right now, 57.75. That makes sense to me to do that. So I think we probably will. 57.75 here on a nice move for Snapchat. Let's not just get that twisted, right? Like, we want to make sure that we capture some profits on the upside there, Valeria. So we're going to get out some on. Valeria, you have a Snapchat account? But do not use it. I think that's the thing. A lot of people have Snapchat accounts, and I just don't know how often it's being used. I'm old, so I don't have a Snapchat. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have anything like that, but obviously people do. We saw that, like, the frenzy for TikTok bidding last year. You know, Oracle, Microsoft, so on and so forth. We'll see what eventually comes of that. I think now that Trump is gone, I think they've eased back a little bit on some of that TikTok talk. Okay, 57, 80, 58. Okay, here it goes, man. Snapchat's still ripping upside. Maybe we don't get out of this after all.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of like maybe don't get out of it, shouldn't have got out of Roblox. Like that one for the week, and it's still running to like the 72 area. There wasn't even a pullback into VWAP that you could have had. I tried catching it after it made a bit of a move back into like 71.50. But let's see if we can't catch something. I'll move my bids into the 75-60 range here on any kind of a dip. So I'll take a first leg a little bit higher than I was going to before on Roblox in particular. Just checking, like I'm going to check back in on Tesla. I know we haven't talked about it yet, but as the market's moving up, I just want to point out that Tesla, once again, resisting off of that 700 level. So you had a bit of a test in the pre-market, trying to get upside and hold some of this after a bit of a flush at the close. And Tesla now again showing a little bit of weakness, heading back into that 680-ish range. If it got to like 666 today, remember that number on Tesla? If it gets to that 666, that's where I'd look to defend. Brendan?
So another one that didn't really participate yesterday, guys, Roku. Didn't really do much of anything the past couple of days, in fact. Yeah, straight to the upside so far. 332 up to 346, 5.25% for Roku already.
Yeah, okay. Roku, good call and a good runner if you like to take a little bit of risk. Roku is definitely the name for you. I'm going to take a risk here with NEO as well. Short 39, short rate here, 39. What rate here? We'll see. If you ever see purple, if you're joining us for the first time, these purple ticks, guys, are shorts. So we were short here, out. We held half, so it was a small loser for us on NEO, and now we're going to go short again, and we're going to try to hold it to this high of the day, 39.20. That's Valeria at the big screen.
Hey Sean, traders on the chat talk about Viacom. Stock is on our watch list today and up around 2%, guys.
Yeah, so we talked about this earlier, Miss V, and right now we're not. Come on, it's a NASDAQ name, NQ. Oh, Neil, you have the 43 break, right?
I want to be sick about it. Like this is what happens to you. I was like take the 43 break long side. That's what it's going to be. And then of course my like shorting brain is like, you got to take a shot at this when it pops up there right off the open and short off of 43. I don't reverse into the long position. I had the stop order and I used it to get out of my short. It is what it is. We gave you guys the levels and we talked about it here and there. I'm addicted to fading some of these levels when I see them. And sometimes it can be a bit of an issue, I think. And the other thing about this that I want to say quickly is if I don't make this trade, I probably handle Roblox that long a little bit better as well. So you can have all the levels in the world, guys, and don't get me wrong, like it's still gonna be a solid day today, but it should have been so much better because 43 long was fantastic in Viacom, and then also should have had hung on to some of that Roblox trade, or at least gotten back in when it was a fail break. The same way we got back into CCL, it was even better had I gotten back into that Roblox trade on the same look. Brendo?
Another little one moving, guys. Air Industries, which is AIRI, up on a $6 million purchase order agreement for F-18 landing gear components. So they're a component maker of some of that landing gear. So AIRI on the NYSE exchange. Big move here on monster volume, guys.
Monster volume. Okay, NEO right now, yeah, we'll look at that. I mean, I just got to look at the positions I have right now, 39.20 NEO. I mean, look, this is opposite day. Yesterday, we tried it to the long side as the market was ripping, and we only saw, we only saw this happening in you know, and then we made a very nice bottom at 38.80, similar to where we're at now at 39 even. So we'll wait to see here if this can hold. Today, it just looks like it doesn't want to make this move down. I mean, look at the NASDAQ pushing to the downside, and our boy NEO just straight chilling. Okay, 57.25 is my new out right now for Snapchat. We've been riding this all the way up. This is just on the 3-minute chart. It's a 15-period moving average, and so we're going to get out if it does break that. On the 1 minute, it's down here at 57.09. Sorry, VWAP. It's down to 57.09, but on a 3-minute, it's up here. I think I've given this enough time now to base out, so let's wait to see if that does happen. And then that's about it, man. For me, $1.50 in the money there. We wait on NEO. It looks like it's going to take out the top, so we'll get out. I'm not going to hold this one. Not going to fight it. It looks like yesterday we went 7 for 8 on names, and it looks like today NEO is going to be one of those losers once again. You know, I like this name to go long. It's just I didn't think that it was strong enough to do that, but today it appears to just be that. So strong enough for NEO. Got to do some work here on where we like. I mean, I always like the 50 levels. So if we can get up to 39.50 on NEO, that will be the breakout spot for me on that one. And then right now, man, we're just defending this 307 area on FB. So let's wait to see what happens. My average price now, 308.80. So 80 cents out. Let's wait to see what happens. My average price now, 308.80. So 80 cents out on Facebook. Let's not cry over spilt milk here. That's well within our risk parameters.
Yeah, we had an idea here, and we actually finally executed. Well, we executed it well on CCL. I should have done the same thing in Roblox, which I just got back into, so I want to talk about that in a second. But Carnival Cruise Lines having some resistance on that breakout, like here, the 28.38 was the pre-market high. It stalled the first time we got some shares out, bought the dip back into the teens, like we mentioned. Then I'm going to scalp again that 20 to 25 pennies, just because it can't seem to break through that top. Now it's close enough to that 28.50 that we can hang on to some shares here. You can look for a 28.50 breakout. I prefer to buy the dips. I'll be buying back in again in the 20 to 25 area if we do get any kind of a dip in Carnival. This market is still, I mean, look, it's going to be led by the ES today because we just turned green there. The NASDAQ, not quite. I still have Apple shares, just to go back and sort of review some of these trades here. It did dip back down to 125.80 because I got a fill at 75 before. Kind of thought we'd be able to pick those shares up. So no rinse and repeat. I'll get more aggressive and pick up some in the low 80s instead of waiting in the 70s next time. But same thing. You're going to scalp 25 and 50 pennies until this one can actually show that it wants to break out. Brendan?
Just checking on Romeo Power. Yeah, it's a small cap. About 1 billion market cap on this one. Romeo Power teaming up with Paycar here on a long-term agreement to supply some electrical components for commercial vehicle electrification use. That was a lot of language, but basically they build batteries and powertrains for commercial vehicles on the electric side of things. It just broke 9 there on a big volume spike. So up 12% for RMO.
All right, guys, there it is. We tweet this out. Our Snapchat now ripping, man, up that another 7%. It's too bad that I didn't buy some in my own account, man, because I called that play $56. Would have been great. I hope you guys were able to grab some options or something off open. That was a fantastic trade. And again, we talk about this, right? I don't want to take breakouts before the market opens, but when it's on the sticky note, and I've done the work, guys, here, you know, come into work early, do the work, find the right numbers there. 56 to the long side continues to print. So there it is, man. Big time trading there happening for us on Snapchat. $1.80 in the money, the biggest one for me today, as the airplane just comes right in, man, and just lands, bang. Let's adjust our Snapchat stop now. Maybe we'll do something like a rune set and do a trailing stop, but you know what? It's actually here. This is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at oops. See if I can zoom this, bring this over. I'm looking at let's go. Hang on a second. I'm looking at a 3-minute chart, and there you go. VWAP all the way down here at $56. But we do have this moving average on a 3-minute chart here. Moving average 57.34. So watch out for that, as it looks like that's not a bad spot for me. It's dipped down to 57 a couple times. So either way, man, this is a $2 winner right now for Snapchat, and we do have a little bit of room to the downside. So let's let it breathe.
Yeah, and look, we talk about this all the time. You make a mistake, you have to be able to get right back on the horse. Come on, let's shift. I'm not looking at Rocket. I'm trying to look at, and it's frozen. I'll go to my 15. There we go. Thank goodness. This one not frozen, but my daily and my 1 are. I got back in. I talked about getting a little bit more aggressive on Roblox the next time. So it dipped to 71.50. I got 58. I just took some out, and I want to show you guys. Remember 73? That's a level we talked about yesterday. After that 70 iceberg, 71 to 71.20 was a big level. So I'm going to take shares off at this lower high, 72.30. So it's about 80 cents in the money, but there's a method to the madness. And I said I will be flat on Roblox if it got to 73, because I like a 73 break. So I will stick with that. Throw a bid in like the 72.80, so offer, sorry, in front of 73 even, and then look for a 73 breakout that did not happen yesterday. Still in play, and keep in mind, 79, double top on Roblox in the daily chart. So if it breaks 73, lots of room to run, even if you're swinging it. Brendo?
BP, guys. Yeah, that BP, big move today. I'll show you the chart here in a second, but two things. They reached a debt target ahead of schedule, so $35 billion debt target. They have reached ahead of schedule. The bigger news, though, Petrobras buying a stake in their northern Brazil oil block. So that's currently owned by BP. So, yeah, huge move here. 5% for British Petroleum, guys.
All right, and we go kicking bulls, man, because again, our Apple call on the board. Here it is, man. Apple, beautiful trade, all the way down to 125. Bang, bang, bang. I mean, this is in 1 minute. We took $1 change. Now we keep ripping to the high side right now as Apple just taking levels out right now, hopefully. 126.50. This is a 70-cent winner. This is a $2 winner. The only one that's struggling right now, and I have a feeling that if this gets going, your boy's going to be, hello, diamond handing this one. If we can get this one going. I don't even have any offers out yet, man. If we can get up to the upside right here, 309.20, 309.40, we'll put a bid there. The NASDAQ is ripping. Let's see if Facebook can't make dreams happen to the long side right now. 309, we'll see if we get some out, and then let's wait. Oh no, sorry, 309.50 or so. Let's see if we get some out. But hey, Facebook right now struggling. It may be the loser for us today, down to 307.50, down to 307. I just don't know why it's not taking off. So hopefully it can get going there, and we'll have this big win on board for you. That's going to be Facebook. Let's put an order at 309. But look at this, guys. It gets going, and then it stops at VWAP every single time. 308.80. That's right where we're long.
Yeah, speaking of stopping every single time, right on a dime, CCL here stopping at 28.50. So it feels like if this isn't the pullback, like if it stalls here at the 28.50 and doesn't give me a pullback or a dip into VWAP or give me something like 25s or 26s or maybe even 28, 29 for a dip buy, I'm probably going to have to add on a break of 28.50. The only difference with that is I'll probably scalp a bunch of that off for the first like 10 to 15 cents, just the way I prefer to play the break on CCL. If I get the dip, fantastic, but I can't ignore the fact that we stalled out and then shot back to the downside here. And if it cannot sustain this move to give me the dip buy, it might have to be the secondary break, or I guess maybe even the third one on CCL. It's 10 o'clock already. Wow, that happened fast. Let's go to Brennan for Happening Now.
Hey guys, 10 o'clock. We'll have a look at North American markets here. A little bit of a choppy start overall to the session. We still have the S&P positive on the day. You can see 0.09%. Everything else pretty flat. The Dow is red. The NASDAQ trying to hang on to positive territory for both the composite and the 100 there. You can see the Russell leading the way, 0.36% to the upside. Here in Toronto, the TSX having a nice day, about 0.5%. To the upside, 0.45 energy stocks leading so far. This one from the watch list, everyone talking about it. Yes, so much strength in Viacom, 41.5 at the bottom there. We're up to 44.5. But if you look at the daily chart, just to give you a bigger picture of what's actually going on, this move is impressive, but from where we came from, not a heck of a lot so far, but definitely relatively strong for Viacom. Yeah, the cruise lines as well. We were talking about, I pulled up Norwegian for two reasons. Leading the group so far. Nice break of day highs there through 30.75. Look at the volume compared to yesterday. Lots of volume coming in still on NCLH. Guys, back over to you.
All right, the market just continues to rip up here, and I just sit here and watch this Facebook just basically blow up to the downside here. I mean, I'm sort of stuck for words here on what's happening right now with Facebook. We obviously know the data breach. We know all that. So that's just obviously weighing in a little more on them today than I had anticipated. So, we're going to lose on this one. It looks like we're $1 out of the money. The way this thing moves, we're not super scared. But look what we're $1 in the money on, guys. Apple right now, $1 in the money off this long. We talked about why we liked Apple, and here it goes. Just continues to make that money back to the dollar side. So everything we're losing on Facebook, we're making back on Apple, but not a good one right here for FB. So let's see if it takes out that 307. That's what I'm looking at.
This is going to be interesting because I actually thought like 125 on the dip in Apple. And I said that's the one I would buy in the dip, not Facebook or Microsoft. And Facebook has a shot to try to hold. Pre-market low is 307, was 307.50, and it just did that break, went 8 pennies below to 42s. So that, I mean, look, I've talked about this setup, and you know, to my chagrin if I don't take it here. So I'm going to jump into Facebook. If I see that break, give it to, I have to give it to 307. 307.42 is not a level I'm willing to play here, but I said it was going to be Apple. I thought that would be the dip buy. It didn't get to 125. I don't know what, Microsoft, I didn't like that one as well. It ends up having to be Facebook on the setup, all three. I didn't want to have all three. The market screaming. This doesn't make any sense to me either, Sean, so it is what it is. We get back to VWAP, I'll take 2/3 out and see if you can't ride the rest. I only have 1/3 left of Apple anyways. I didn't want to be full in any of these or in all three or even maybe two at the same time. At that point, you might as well be trading the futures, in my opinion, when it comes to those names. I'm going to get back to in a quick second that Roblox. I missed a dip buy on Roblox, but it's just hanging out at 72s. The volume isn't huge on Roblox. I don't think you have to be super active. You might be hanging on to that one for a longer period of time and not over trading it.
Okay, so 39.52 we're long at there. I was going to say 39.71 or so on NEO here. If we can get some out, I think that would be probably a good spot up into the 70s, maybe into the 60s a little bit as well on NEO. So let's wait to see. Why is my, I have number lock set up, I believe, on my keys, which is not good.
What?
There it is. Yeah, okay. Just testing to make sure we get some out. So there it is. So we did take some out there as I fixed the keyboard. 39.50 there. We just took some out just for jokes. We're going to wait for 39.70, 39.80 to come on NIO. The tipping point for this one, guys, you know what? I mean, I haven't called it right the last little bit, so I'm not going to give it too much love. Back down through 39, okay, guys? So that'll be the trade for me on NEO. If it goes great, it looks like it wants to. The futures are going to the upside here. We put on a decent position now. Let's see if we can't make back some of these shorts. It's just so funny because yesterday we were one way, and now today we're completely other, and the market playing games with us again. So just should have focused more, like Neil was mentioning there, on Apple, because that's $1.05 in the money. Snapchat's still that $1.82 in the money. NEO 1 cent in the money. I have Roblox 72.30 on that day high break. We're going to hold that. That's flat. And then that's about it, man. Oh, yeah. And then the short that we've had today is a nice one. So we go nice on that one. CEMI, guys, a big stock here for me today as well, since we shorted 520. Just like yesterday when we shorted EBON at 750, and I told you that was a cash money spot. We felt the same. Here it is here. We felt the same way right now about CEMI, guys, to the low side.
Yeah, we're gonna actually. I'm looking for a spot to get back into that position because I want to continue to work that. I can tell you, Pinterest, of course, is gonna be the one that got away. I always try to do this. Like I still have that bid. Remember, I'm saying if we get a chance to get a dip into 81s, we're gonna go ahead and do that and pull the trigger on Pinterest. Yeah, it's not gonna give you that shot. It's already at 83, so very, very strong. Facebook, look, we'll pick some up, and I'm going to have to start scalping this in front of VWAP. I'll take like 60 pennies or 70 pennies on the first leg there, and then maybe $1.25 on the next. The relative weakness is there. I want to try to hang on to it, but there's no ignoring Apple here. Low. There's no ignoring Apple breaking through. I said I wanted to hold through the break and then buy dips. I don't know. You can't see any dips here, guys, so I'll go ahead and cancel that 125.80. I don't think we'll be getting that anytime soon. 128 was the other level that we talked about. Let's see if we can zoom in here so you guys see a little bit better. 128 was the level that we talked about, so I'm going to be flat in front of 128 because that's its own breakout on the daily chart on Apple.
Okay, guys, here comes NEO, man. They're kicking again. NEO to the upside. So we flipped the switch on the stock today, man. And we went long now. So good trade to the long side. We just took some more out. We're waiting at 68 still. And then we have some 75s in mind. And then, oops, I wanted to go the other way on the Zoom. And then, we do have this consolidation yesterday on the high of the afternoon at 3 o'clock of 39.80. So that's leading me to believe that maybe we need to get a little, just fell out a little bit there. Need to get a little more out on the upside there as we just did now. It's moving fine. We're long at 51, but the amount of shares that we took there, we do want to scalp out. We had that in the Ask Us Anything yesterday. Talked about it, and I threw it back over to Arun. Like, Neil and myself trade completely different share sizes on most of these names, and then Arun trades different again on the futures, right? So very, very important that you understand how you trade and what you're looking at as far as share size and risk tolerance. You got to trade how comfortable you are, not how comfortable the guy is beside you. Brendo.
Stitch Fix, guys, having quite the day here. Big pop on an Evercore upgrade. They added it to their must-have list. So Stitch Fix, 10%, just broke 53 there on volume.
Yes, sir. And I'm going to go for the dip again on Roblox here in front of 71s. I started at 71.50. Well, we kind of did 58s last time. Anyways, going to start it at 50 here. Got to give this one some room. I was waiting for a dip to get back in. I want to stay to the long side as much as I can. I just told you guys, Shonda mentioned semi, and I'm like, I'm looking for a place to get back into it on any kind of a pop because I missed the VWAP pop at 505, thinking we'd get a push into the open prices at 15s or 10s. And look at this low now at 490. So I had two bids below it, but one of the things, you start making a double bottom like this, if it breaks that level, there's no reason I should get two legs out like that. Like, go ahead and cancel one, throw something more in the 485 range. It's like the likelihood of it breaking that, there's some long stops that are going to be added to that level the more it kind of bounces off it. So if it's going to break 490, just take the extra 5 pennies or so when you're scalping something like this. That's going to be the name of the game here. I do like a reload. It just has not given me the shot. Facebook trying to hold above 308. If I can get that first like 50 penny winner, or maybe like 60-cent one, I'm going to go ahead and do that and take another leg out in front of VWAP. The relative weakness is there, but I thought it would be dip buying in Apple at 125, and then I wasn't going to do Microsoft or Facebook because of that. But it is what it is. You got to pick what the price action gives you within the market. You can't dream and hope that it's going to be the stock you want. The double bottom came on Facebook.
We stack that money right now on Facebook, guys, and that's exactly what we're talking about, man. We've been, we identified this stock early. Unfortunately, we had that move, but there it is, man. Out a little bit there on VWAP, lining that cash up, guys. So that's a big one here. And we'll spin the one that you guys like the most. I keep hearing it all the time. Did I just hit the countdown by accident? No, I did not. Thank God for that one. But here it is. Spin it. So right now, guys, Neo, you want to talk about some money? We're bringing it back right now. So that's a nice little trade there. Thank God we reversed our decisions here and decided to go long instead of this short. We noticed that it was stronger than the market basically today. It took off, and as the market took off, we rode it to the high side. Yesterday was a different day for Neo. Today we make that money back there. Facebook now 20, 30 cents into the money. I still think, man, we can get up to 309 and change. We did average into our Roblox as well, but this one falling back down. Let's give this one a little bit more room. RMO, Brendan, you brought that to us a while ago. Romeo going insane. Great call, Brendo.
Yeah, another one here to look at, guys. Cara Therapeutics, 13%. This is one of those events that happens not terribly often, but they added this to the S&P small cap 600 today. So anyone wondering about this, Cara, yeah, it's had a couple of days leading into this, but big gap up. Trying to hold the gap, guys, on Cara.
Yes, and also remember MUDs, that pushing through. This is your SPAC of the day, I suppose. It's been a while since we've, well, no, it hasn't. We get SPACs all the time. But it's looking relatively strong. It's still pushing towards this like 1150 minutes. Try to get there before. And you go way back into the pre-market. I try to throw out some of these prices when the volumes are too garbage. So that's why I'm not really looking too hard into that 12 area. 1150 is going to be the key one on this MUDs. I don't see anything in the way of offers. Liquidity looks pretty good, but I haven't seen a reason to go short this name yet, so I'm not going to force the trade there. I want to check back in on CCL. I don't want us to get to, like, you're going to see loaded up position boards for both of us, right? So every now and then, let's just go to update the stocks that are moving in the money and have been good to us. It's easier to sort of stick around with the plan. I just got another dip at 28.25, so CCL continues to bounce off VWAP. I'll take some shares off in front of that high. Remember, it rejected 28.50, so if I catch some halfway in the mid-30s, I'll go ahead and do that. But CCL still showing some strength. I can tell you Facebook, not so much. Good thing we got out of some of that trade because it's headed towards that low. Now, I bought this one because of that bottom break, that failed bottom break. It's again testing 307. I give it to the even. I'm not going to get out at like a 307.40. That's too random of a price for me. If it cannot hold the line, that's going to be a losing trade to the long side on Facebook, while Apple still holds in the money. So Facebook, relative weakness is in the market, trying to roll over here.
Yeah, I'm going to get out of Apple here and just capture that profit because there it is. Bang. Nice one, guys. We talked about that when we throw the hot dogs everywhere on Apple today. That was a big trade, man. Loaded up right down here at 9:35. Tick, 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 tick. Boom. Got out of that one. So really, really super happy with the way that one's traded out. And then we have Neo now falling back in. This is why we empty them out. Look at the futures, man, coming right back down. So here comes Neo doing the same little dance again. We'll see about getting a little longer just in case this isn't real. But the market is fading in right now. So our shorts, the only one we have on is a CEMI. We are getting ready to get a Snapchat right now. It did bounce off that level that we were talking about there, the VWAP level. So if it does break back down below 57.30, we are going to get out of that one. Right now, we just got to survive this move down on Facebook, and then we'll be okay, guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly the key. With Roblox as well, just the other long position I have on, got that little dip. It's held 71. There was that consolidation that you would have seen on the chart yesterday's action. That was an iceberg order at 70 even. If I were to see the same thing at 71, I would probably get back in, triple the position in front of it, and use that as a stop. But for now, let's use that low of the day as the out and build a position on Roblox. But I'd love to see an iceberg jump $1 higher. That'd be a fantastic look, and I jam it in Roblox. Brendo? I
mentioned this one yesterday. DMY Technologies, another SPAC. Genius Sports signing that. It was a data deal with the NFL for some number crunching, I guess. This thing's had a couple of days to the upside, but just popping back up on volume. Tried to get above 22 there, but failed. But heads up on DMYD, guys.
39. We should have got some more Neo downside there. How low did Neo go? Okay, it didn't go too far. It only went to 46. Okay, I was looking to get longer in the 30s if it did happen for us. So we will put another bid downside now into the 30s on Neo, just in case that does come out. Again, like I said, different share sizes, man. I'm getting some out here. I took a little bit more of Facebook out there. Was a little nervous that this market was going to continue to go down, but a win is a win. Let's just wait to see. Obviously, I'm wishing that it comes back up to this 309 area. I don't know if that's going to happen, guys. Join us today. For a late show. Finally, the first time. I think it's number one. We're going to hit number one now.
Yeah.
It's the late show with Randy. Trader TV Rain. No, 3:15. We're going to be here today. Neil and I today, 3:15 till the close. So come back, guys. Look, show us some support. If we don't get the support, we may not do it again. So let's wait to see if that does come up, guys, later on. There we go. You guys got to fix my board here. Maybe if you have some free time after, you could do that. Ready for Brendo? What up?
Datadog, guys, just saw an alert. Heavy call buying apparently on DDOG. Another one that's had a pretty decent couple of days here back to the upside. Top end of the daily range, 88 to 90. Bit of a problem. Not there yet. 88 up here for Datadog, guys.
Big move, Datadog. I talked about Pinterest that may be looking for a dip, but we're not going to get 81s. I think that ship has sailed. It just sold back into 81, close to 81.50. Now we're consolidating right around this little VWAP action. If we can hold that bottom, I'm going to look for an 82.25 breakout. I'd just like to see some actual consolidation. I can tell you that secondary push that we're looking for to the downside on semi has happened. CEMI, so they're the bids out. Of course, I had these bids in from when we added at 5 even to the shorts that we had earlier. So 475 and 450 are going to be the next two targets to that downside. That's what we care about. The one to watch, at least for me right now, in addition to Roblox, CCL, and Apple, they're all in the money. But it's the long in Facebook, guys. I mean, all three, almost everything we have to the long side, I think, has worked out. I mean, I don't think there's been a bad one. It's Facebook. All kinds of weakness. If it breaks 307, I'm walking away from it, and then I probably won't even try it again until 305. You got to note the relative weakness that's been in the name. I'm a little bit shocked by it, to be perfectly honest with it. With that, gonna go back over to CCL. It just missed me here at 28.36 here. If it cannot get back into these mid 30s, keep in mind this was that pre-market low. Fails at 28.50. If it can't break that pre-market low again, I'm not going to let this one turn into a loser. I'll stop it out at 28.15 and look for a buy off the low of the day instead of getting stubborn and just holding it all the way down when it looks like it's trying to do a bit of a trend reversal despite the market holding up at evens on the ES here, guys. That's going to be the name of the game. I'm going to flush this one down. Well, I'm not going to flush it down the toilet. You're poop, Facebook. I'm out of that one. I'll hang on to CCL, Apple, and Roblox. Those are all looking like they're solid longs. Facebook, all kinds of weak. At least I took a bit of a scalp on a third of it, but the rest is going to be a hit.
My hero.
It's okay, guys. Superman is in the building with Neo today, at least. Up to 39.80 right now on this name. So good move for Neo. Nicely made all that money back here on the short loss. And now we go to the upside, 39.80. So a big trade there. Yeah, Facebook fell down, man, breaking through 306. So yep, that was the weak name today, and we kept going long. That's fine. I mean, for me, it's well worth the risk. We talked about why we liked Facebook, and we tried it. So, never fails on that one, but all the way to the downside. Facebook. I mean, if we look at a 20 period here, yeah, there's really nothing. I mean, yesterday we hit it long, huge, and then today it looks like, yeah, just coming off, man. A weak name. We should have identified that earlier. Down that 0.63 into a strong market. So yeah, you should have identified that. We talked about being in some danger spots there, and I do that often, guys, where we just, we believe in something, we try it a bunch, it gets back up, we're super happy with the trading, but we dumped some of it, we dumped half. So right now we'll wait. I got to give this one a little more room. That's just what I'm looking at. So if it breaks through 306, we'll get into the rest. But we kept half, so hopefully that will turn into a little runner for us, guys.
And we are not going to look a gift horse in the mouth when it comes to WEI. We said every once in a while there's those short trades just kind of sitting in and there's just no bid. It doesn't show you any reason to get out. 141 was the previous close on WEI. I talked about that 150 area. This is what happened is it went into 150. So it's like a strong move down in and then just absolutely flushes. I just punched out when I saw it get to that price. So 148 will be the actual out. 141 I know was the close, but who cares? When it makes a move like that, and that's my target, I'm going to take it every time. And then there goes CCL. It's about time. CCL making the push back into those 30s, so rinse and repeat any of those dip buys that are going to work out for us at VWAP. Had to hold it a few pennies through, but we're going to scalp the 10 cents off, and we'll keep doing this. I'll probably start placing these bids a little bit closer to the 28.15 area. Like, you know what I mean by the teens, guys. Yeah, so like not 2018 specifically, but anywhere in those teens will be pretty solid for the dip. And use the 15 as my out. And then if it takes out 28.50, at this point, yeah, I'll scalp that break, see if I can't get like 5-10 pennies out of it. But I like the dip buys for the holds much better.
Okay, guys. I mean, the CEMI, I mean, the cash cow just keeps on coming. Like, you know, we have one bad trade really today, and that's the Facebook. Look at the CEMI, like short 516. Okay, so still have 20%. It is what it is. I'm going to tell you, you know, the goods when I have them on board. Here's NEO. We just cleaned some out there at 90. So again, more shares. We still have about 35% of this position, and we turned positive on this one today. So that's going to be a good trade for us on NIO. Still more money to come on that name. I feel like this can break through 39 even. I mean, 40. We're very, very close to 40 right now. But that's that high from yesterday afternoon, which is why, again, we've been taking some off. And I'm going to, now that I noticed that one more time, I'm going to put another order to get out in the 80s one more time. I may even just, you know what, I may just take a piece off right now. There we go. So we just took another piece off right now, right there, 78. We'll see if we get another one through. There it is. See if we get another one through 80. Let's go, 80. Really happy that we held on. We can make this all back on Facebook. Like, I dumped less than half of this Facebook on that 307 break. So Facebook still trying to go. We are now long 307.70. So hey, maybe that was the bottom. We did good by holding a little bit, but maybe it wasn't. So let's wait to see how far down Facebook wants to go. My ultimate out is going to be 306, which could come faster than even I am hoping for. Sure, I'll take a coffee there, Randy. That'd be nice. And we'll go back over, I guess, Brendan now at the big screen, ready for it. Looks like it's a small cap recap kind of thing.
Hey guys, yeah, small cap time. Let's have a look at a few that were moving around in the pre-market. This one was not really, but we talked about it yesterday. If you remember, AMC was up a little bit in the pre-market. I really thought today might have given you a bit of a move. It did give you a little scalp at the open, but nothing terribly exciting doing so far today. It is down, worth noting, 3% on AMC. eBang, as I mentioned in the pre-market, if you joined us, I was just watching 620. 620 was holding in the pre-market as support. There were some bidders there. They ended up selling into the bid. I saw some volume coming in, so I just hit the bid along with them. And yeah, then I noticed that Hindenburg came out and said, yeah, they're short eBang as well, so down 20% for EBON. The other one, BTX, was a little bit wild here at the open, but did give you great opportunity. I was watching 850, which were these wicks, and then 875 above that, which was that high. So I actually wanted more up in there. About to make new day lows on BTX. Guys, back over to you.
Yes, sir. And about to, well, I shouldn't say about to because I might be jinxing it here. Trying to make new highs is what I'll go for CCL here. It just pushed into that 28.45 area. It has yet to break that 28.50. I like that for a scalp breakout. But if it can get any closer than this, you know what? Now that I think about it, if it's going to resist this, let's get rid of that breakout trade. I'm going to take some shares off, just some more shares off in front of that 28.50. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take it all off. If I'm adding on a dip and I'm taking a breakout at 28.50, why not take profit on this rollover? It doesn't make any sense to be hanging on to it, especially when I just got a dip buy, and I'm gonna still like this one in the teens. I'll pop a bid down there just in case CCL comes back down. But I just got it at Pinterest, so to add to these longs that we have, it's also just CEMI for me as well, Sean. I have a buyout, but don't worry about that. It's not going anywhere. Market breaking through those highs. I wanted Pinterest on the dip. It just retook 82s, and I popped in here at 82.03. It's held this double bottom at 81.65, so I can use like 50s or that 65 in particular as a bit of an out. Let's see if we can't get this one to get going back towards that top. You know, we're going through a lot of names in the pre-market there, and I was like, oh, got to get the pins for you guys, and I never did before the open, and now we've got a bit of a runner. This one bought the dip. We'll see if we can make a secondary push. I'll take some out for sure in front of 83 in case we do stall out at that high a day. This is the time where you would expect some resistance at those opening range tops, especially when it's a secondary move to the upside, not even the first.
Okay, thank you, Randy, for the refill there. Okay, so here we go. We did get a little bit out there on NEO on that move back upside, but it doesn't, or downside, sorry, but it looks like it just wants to keep on going. So yes, we are very, very happy as the electric car market right now getting unplugged a bit with NEO to the downside. So we'll wait to see where that one wants to go and what that one wants to do now. So NEO trying to go. We'll just wait to see if that's the trade that we hope it is for us. NIO now trying to make its way back up. So a good little move for us there. We'll still try to, I mean, yeah, I'm going to tell you guys what stocks I'm negative on, what stocks I'm positive on. And right now, NIO is slightly negative, but we're bouncing around, trying to push this to the high side, guys. Regardless of, like, you know, whether or not we make a trade, like I can celebrate Facebook here if it goes back up, but I'm going to be negative. Like, this stock needs to go to 309. I'm going to tell you if I'm positive or negative on a stock. So if you guys want to ask, despite what it shows down there, I think it's very, very important that we just keep it real on what our net is on the stock, guys, and that's what me and Neil plan on doing. So 306.80 right now. Man, you know, I keep fighting the tape on Facebook. It's really ridiculous that I'm doing that, but I will continue to do it apparently. So we'll wait to see now if it holds these levels. I do have lower bids, and then we're going to see, you know, if it does take out 306. 306 is where I'm going to dump it off. And Facebook will be a obviously negative stock for me today. Crypto, though, starting to go back down. I don't have Ether, but I'll find the chart. Bitcoin right now just making a nice little move down. So like I said, right now, Bitcoin and crypto not really trading the way people think it should. It's not super volatile. It's like bouncing between 57 and 60,000. So we're going to have to wait for a break one way or the other, because right now, GBTC and Ether not really doing anything, waiting for this to hopefully settle itself out. But who knows? More to come. We'll see on crypto. There it is, Facebook. We did pick up a nice little buy there at 306.80. So, and, you know, average in. Let's see how high. Now we want to fly.
Yeah, I mean, the market's still, look, we're still pressing here to the top, and we're holding at evens on the NASDAQ, but the ES is starting to go. I'm looking at this E-bond. I got out at 525, and then this happened. So, I mean, you can tell how good that exit looks. It's terrible. If it comes, we're going to come back and we're testing to try to put in another lower high here. And if we hold VWAP, maybe stall out at like 30 or so, I'll try to catch some on the way back down. For short, I'm still short in this name, probably into at least another attempt at 5 even. So I'd take it on a break of 520, as long as we're not, you know, trading above like 535. Brendo?
A couple of the Chinese EV makers popping up. This one, first off, XPEV back to the upside 2% today. Nice move. Right from the open, if you remember, 2 days in a row, we've gapped higher and then kind of faded throughout the session. So a little bit of relative strength on volume coming into XPEV. Also, Playboy, PLBY, all-time highs, guys. They're talking blockchain.
Yeah. That's funny. Again, talked to my 18-year-old about Playboy. I know, funny joke. But we talked about NFTs and why I sort of liked them. And I told him, watch out for Playboy. So I want to find out if you were able to buy some of that. We believe in Roblox, so we bought that 7160. We were also waiting to buy some lower side here. We didn't get any of that. So for right now, we rest on our laurels with Roblox. Our average price right now is 72.12. So, well, it was just at 72. We were just about flat on Roblox. But look, guys, we just resisted that 72. So let's put an order somewhere around here. Well, I mean, you know what? It's spready, as Randy would say, Roblox. So let's put an order 71.95 or so. See if we get taken out. Then hopefully the momentum carries us through back into profit land. So we're only long at 72.12. We'll take off a piece. I have a full position right now. So we'll take off a piece at 71.90 if we can, and then see what happens when it blows through.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to say that Viacom is the one that got away, but it's like, you take the hit on it, shorting it, which is actually, it's not a bad trade. It's a setup I'm going to take almost every single time. But it's missing the long that's going to suck. Just keep in mind where the stock is. We just turned away from yesterday's 44. Look at this level, 44.50. Look at all the chops surrounding that. So if I'd picked a better spot, certainly the short would have worked out for me. If there's going to be a dip buy, it's got to be in front of that 43, in my opinion. We talked about that as a long support area. The first time it made a bottom at 40 even, it was that 43 area. I got to go with the same thing here today. And I do want to remind you guys, I have a sneaky suspicion. I know we're going to do the first day we're doing that. We're coming back for the afternoon show. It's 3:15 to 4. We're going to trade that close. I feel like Viacom could be one of the names that has some moves in it for that last hour. It's not that, look, you're going to trade whatever the action happens to be, and that's what you got to do. But you start lining up some of these levels that if we're holding some of these, especially if you don't break the bottoms, some of these stocks that are trying to rebound, you get those little run type plays. So I like that 43. I don't know if we're going to get the dip now, but now that we've rounded out off of yesterday's open flush price at 44.50, if we get a dip, I like it to 43. I'm not going to chase it all the way at 44 just because I did not take the long at 43 breaking out. That's not a reason to chase up here. I don't want to be doing that in Viacom in particular. Just to come back to Pinterest, I did get that entry at 82s. Never really got much of an opportunity to add to it at the lower end of the range. If I can get 50 cents on the first leg of the scalp, I'll take the rest out in front of 83. I want it out in front of the high of the day. You can play breakouts, you can play dip buys in this regard, especially if you're going to be more active. So I'm not out of Pinterest just yet. I want this to get up to 82.50 before I take any shares off, and I am willing to add if it does test the lower end of this range, 81.50 to 81.75. I want an entry in that area.
So I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what just happened there. I guess we got triggered out there of some of our Facebook. Like I was not planning on selling anything, so we did have to buy some back in. But my price is not as averaged in as well as it should be. This is actually now turning out to be a decent winner, guys. We only got out of half of our trade there when this first broke, and then I have no. Like, how could I go long and short there? I mean, this is only a 1 minute candle, so I'm not sure what happened there, but we did pick up a 306.80 bid, and then I don't know if there was a dark pool that I'm not seeing that triggered me out there, but we did get back in, and I do want to buy some more Facebook on the downside. So just to let you guys know, Roblox, we do get our 91s. I think I put it out at or 90. So that's out. My average price now 702.06, but really it's 71.12 or so is what we need to get to on Roblox before this is a profitable trade. So I still think we take out the day's high. No mistake on this one. I really think that this has a very, very good chance to go. NEO still $40. We're still staring that in the face. I don't have any orders to get out on the upside, do I? No, I do not. So we will wait to see. I'm still looking at 40. Hopefully that can come through. And then other than that, man, it's just chill central right now for me, looking for more opportunities. Microsoft doesn't hit that level that we liked of 249.50. How close did it come though? Let's see, 249.50. Well, right off the, that's 8:30. Right off the open, I was gonna say we got to 249, but then a drip down. So yeah, the NASDAQ just holding positive. Today, not as eventful as yesterday, obviously, guys. Not much happening to some of these big cap names today. What's up, Brenda?
Another one we were kind of looking at in the pre-market. I was debating whether or not to add it or not. Tesla, guys, in negative territory. I saw there was an analyst, I won't even name them because it was ridiculous, but they came out and said Tesla's worth $150 trying to catch some headlines. But 2 days in a row, worth mentioning, gapped up, faded all day. So we're back to the 690, 692 area, which was an issue yesterday and in the pre-market for Tesla. It's 10:30. That means there's an hour left. Yes, Europe is open today. V, what's up over there?
Hey, Brendan, Europe's benchmark index hit a record high today on economic recovery hopes. Oil major BP trading in London is up more than 5% after it said it expects to reach its $35 billion net debt target in the first quarter of 2021. Take it away.
Yeah, market's loving the reopen idea, guys.
And the market's loving this RMO. I mean, let's say we're. Brennan brought this one to you on volume, big time push. It just gave you a fail break look at 10 even, pumping through, getting like 7 pennies or so. And I'm going to get to that one in a quick second. I said I was going to scalp a trade on CCL on the 28.50 break. So I just took. It looks like it only went to 28.56, so I'm only going to end up getting like 5 pennies on 3/4 of it. But wherever it first pushes into on a breakout is what I'm going to go ahead and do. But I want to make sure you guys see this little double bottom. It's a very tight look here at 970. I want a 970 breakdown on RMO. We have the share shortable on this name, so it's up like 20% or so. I just like a chance at like a 750 to VWAP type of retracement there. CCL, I wanted to make sure we got a bunch out on that first little push, but want to make sure I have my order locked and loaded on a 970 break in RMO. Brendan brought that one to you guys. It's really not just the watch list that we go over. Now there's going to be stocks that move throughout the day that we want to make sure we're catching every single moment for you guys. Whether or not we get to trade them or look to even trade them or see a setup, they're going to be actionable and you want to make sure you're watching them. This is why I wanted to get that pop on CCL. If it went to, like I said, 5-10 cents, it didn't even go 10 cents. It just gave me like a 5-cent scalp trade. If it wants to hold this dip to like a 28.45 and give you consolidation, I would take more shares. But if it doesn't, I'm just going to pop out at 40. take the rest of this out, it'll be basically a flat trade at that point because 3/4 out for 5 cents, take the rest out for a hit, and then I'm looking to dip buy. Go right back to buying the dips on those 20s and teens, and it would have been muted success on that breakout trade. So that's the plan of action for me on CCL. I trade the breakout as a separate trade altogether from the dip buying.
Yeah, we just got into CCL as well. We like that 28.50, so now we're long CCL right here. We'll see 44. So testing it. But that doesn't matter because today, guys, it's electrified time. As Neo right there, we called this going right up now, guys, turning positive on the day for me on NIO, right up through 40. There it is, like a big ripper again for us today, guys. 50 cents in the money now on this name. Our Snapchat does come out. Let's see where. Yeah, right here, right at that view up just a while ago. I just want to take that into consideration for you guys. We are out of Snapchat. This is the biggest winner on board right now. 50, well, it's not on board, but that we had $1.50 there on this name. Roblox fighting. Looks like it might lose the battle. Just like we're probably going to lose the battle now on Facebook as that comes all the way down. Our average price 307.01 now. So maybe we'll do some work and just get this out for like least amount of damage possible right now as the NASDAQ falls down. And of course, here we go, man. Facebook just making moves to the downside. So this looks like this will get taken out very, very soon. I just got to make sure I have my stop order set through 306, guys.
Yeah, got into that RMO. If we get further consolidation, I'm going to like it even more. The NASDAQ just turned red, but it's only like 0.1%, guys, and I don't think it's going to matter too much to this RMO play. When you have a smaller cap name that's in play on its own, I tend to not care what's happening in the overall market. So I wish I had a couple of other names to the short side to roll over, but it's just the small caps for now. I'm going to take more in the 980s on RMO, giving it to 10. I'm not giving it like. I'm going to give it to that 10 because I want an area stop on this. I kind of want to see what the bid looks like when it gets up there. So rather than just say, okay, well, it went to 10.07, I'm giving it to the high of the day, I'd much rather look at the level 2, see what the bid is looking like in and around 10 before it even gets there. And if it's too strong, I could take it off before that high of day. So I like it all the way back to VWAP. That's going to give you like 40 or 50 cents. Even halfway makes it 1-to-1. And then the second half back down to VWAP here where you had some consolidation on the way up at 9.30. So shorts in RMO, CCL back to that 28.50 breakout, so we're still hanging on to a quarter of that.
Ooh,
position.
CCL.
Zomedica, guys. ZOM flash from the past, I guess. ZOM back to the upside here, 3% today. I just noticed this on heavy volume as well. Trying to retake some of these significant levels on the daily chart. I don't see news on this, but remember they were in the pet health space for ZOM. Lots of volume, guys.
Yeah, good thing we like that CCL 28.50 as well. And then we heard Neil talking about it hitting it. So we were able to get long here, 44.48, and then just took some out there, 50.51. So good trade for us on CCL. Neo just continues, though, man, to go to the high side now. So wherever we get this thing out, what is the high of the day? 08? Let's sit in order at 06, see if we can take that. That's right here. And just continue to watch it. Rip to the high side here, hopefully for us. As Facebook, though, one last try, okay? So now we're just bidding. We'll see, man. It's right down to 306 as the NASDAQ continues to go into the gates of hell. So I'm going to put the whole NASDAQ in the gates of hell because that's really what started this Facebook move down. It's going to be like my only real negative stock on the day, to be honest with you. Here is going to be Facebook. But again, I'm willing to die on this sword. I'm here to have some fun, try to make some money. And I did believe in the Facebook turnaround. I just thought it would catch a bid, but it's not. It's not catching a bid. The market is definitely heading to the downside right now and bringing Facebook right along with it there, Brendan. I know you didn't go long Facebook.
Did not, no. Let's talk about this one. A little one, Scene Joy, one of those. Teaming up with the Snip Interactive. This is another NFT Bitcoin type headline, guys. So another one to add to your NFT list. SJ just halted.
Yeah, I don't have an NFT list, my friend, but I like them, but not for stocks. They're a very, very good day trade stock for sure, but I don't want to own any of those NFT stocks, guys. Just my opinion.
Yeah, I don't own any of them. I'm not at that point yet. I'd never say never, but it's close to it. This RMO holding up at that 970, was able to get some shares at that 80 like we talked about. It did pop up, resisted 85s or so. So I'm going to stick with the plan here. I actually thrown some bids. So if it slides down, I can actually just get out, not have to worry about watching it. I do have a level 2 up to make sure that my area stop doesn't get broken. I don't want a hard stop there. Apple's starting to come all the way downside. I probably don't need this offer in. skewing the chart for you guys there. Coming all the way back in, I had one entry into Apple, and I'm trying to hold on through the breakout trade. I wanted to scalp for a bit, hold this for the break. If it can hold this 125.80, especially if the the market does hold up around here in this little bit of a slide, I'm going to dip back into some more shares, hopefully around the entry price that we have at 77, but I'm willing to pay up like 10 or 15 pennies or so to make sure that we're getting that higher low on Apple, guys. It's a big time dip. It just came back $1. I'd love to see us hold around here and be able to add back into some Apple.
It reminds me of Apple. I don't know if we even talked about this, but this was my out here, 126.50. We play off the 50s. So when we had this ripper off the open, bang, right to the upside, we were able to take the profits. We took our last piece off on VWAP, and then our last 20% upside here at 126.55. Just wish we had done that more with Facebook and got out when it was ripping to the high side. But there it is, Apple for a nice win for me. And it's a decent stock for me today. Not huge, but up there on the list. So good name there for me. Apple today. CEMI, I mean, I guess we should have got some more out at 81 there, but we only have one piece left. So 20, 40, 60, 80. Whether or not I'm just going to hold it. I think there's more downside in it, but it's a low percentage play for me right now. Anyways, the big percentage play is Facebook. We just took another piece off there for flat. We're at 306.80. Let's see how high this one wants to go. We just got out at 60. If the NASDAQ rebounds, I still think that we can. We're not even like we're negative on Facebook, but it's not a lot. Like if this just goes up $1, then we'll be basically right back in the money on the name. VWAP would be a big win for us. I don't know if Facebook has it in it though, man. It's a fun name for me to trade today, and I feel like I'm fighting it, but definitely losing this battle. Let's go, Facebook. Please, please, please try to get it in. But for right now, we'll go nice trade on Neo, and then we're waiting on Roblox as well. And we took a piece off there, and we talked about why. So far, so good. Just need Facebook to go, Brendo.
All right, everyone's favorite cooler maker and coffee travel mug maker, Yeti. Yeti Holdings up here, guys. Credit Suisse starting coverage on their stock, $85 price target with an outperform from the upgrades list today. Yeti making moves on volume. Just broke 77.5 there for Yeti.
Yeah, and I mean, that's an impressive looking chart. Roku's just as impressive, I want to say. Just made another push to the upside at 10:30 here, just about 10 minutes or so ago, into 355. So we're up 7.5%. We're still screaming. Going to go to the daily just so you guys can see. Look at this like 360 to 370 area. If we start creeping into that, that's going to be resistance. I'm going to go ahead and say if it gets any closer, it is what it is. Like when you've missed out on so much a long move, I've got a bunch of longs that I kind of believe in already. I got the Apple, we've got Pinterest, we've got Roblox here. So I'm not going to add buying the tops to Roku. I would look for a turnaround if we get close to that 60 area. I think that's probably the first resistance point there. Speaking of Roblox, I can tell you, come on, there we go. It is starting to come back in. This is my 15 minutes so you guys can see what that 70 level looked like yesterday. Iceberg order, hold the bottom. I don't want to add too aggressively in front of 71 because I want to take this trade off at 71 and then revisit it all the way back at 70, which was yesterday's support level. That's the one I absolutely love. So if it breaks through 71, we will have taken some profit out in front of high of the day. We don't get the second out. Thankfully, we did get the first. I like to work the trade there, but I'm covering at 71 and looking back for that 70 area. It is time for a sector watch already. That means it's 10:40. Let's go to the big screen with Brendo.
Hey guys, yeah, sector time. Let's have a look at the S&P 500. A little deceiving as far as what this is showing. Looks very positive, but we're only up 0.13%. So these moves not as big as this board would lead you to believe. Energy stocks leading the way so far on the strong side. Once again, we saw oil up more than a full percent in the pre-market there. A little bit of follow through. So all the common names here popping back up. Halliburton, Oxy, SLB, EOG, Devon, Hess, pick one. They're all higher. Communication stocks, Discovery among the leaders so far, 4% to the upside. Viacom, not far behind it, 2.8%. Fox is here as well. Twitter having a nice day, 4.3% to the upside. We had the travel names on the watch list again today. Here's all the cruise lines, some of the hotel operators, NCLH, Caesars, Wynn is here, RCL, pick one, CCL, they're all here. Starbucks, Domino's even as well. Some of the reopening plays coming back to life again. Consumer discretionary stocks having an impressive day so far in the healthcare group, this ILMN. Going to check on that. 9.5% move for that one in the pharmaceutical group. Industrials are also higher. If you're wondering about PayX, we mentioned it yesterday, 6% downside. That was an earnings name we showed you right at the end of the show yesterday is what I'm trying to say. Tech stocks struggling at this point, but overall the market 0.07%. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, you saw me hit the diamond hands there, and look at NEO, man. Finally turns. That's an 85, 90-cent winner there on the high side. So we finally did hold it. So good trade. Again, got a lot of it out here near 40, and then just tick, tick, tick upside. We hold a little bit of that one to let that happen for us. So big trade there. And on the other side of things, and again, there goes Facebook. So we tried it. We danced with the devil, and we got moped on this one as it comes all the way back to the downside. So again, one of the only losing stocks today for us is this name. Roblox pending would be the other one. So we have two losing stocks today. It's going to be Roblox and then obviously Facebook here. And I don't know if we're going to be able to catch a downside move here or not on this Facebook, but we'll wait to see here. 305.70 coming into play there. I don't know, man. That looked like that might have been. I don't want to go back all the way to here. Like, this has nothing to do with this August level. But there's 305.50 or so off that bounce. I mean, we got out at a 306 break, so not bad at all.
Yeah, RMO just broke the top and covered that one, so I'm going to take the hit of shorting that one off that consolidation high. Very, very strong name, it looks like so far. And then coming back in, here comes CME. Now, I haven't made a short trade in this since it originally broke 5 even. It did give one look bouncing to 505 that I missed. I kind of regret missing that. I took my last out at 480. Now it's coming right back into VWAP, so I took some more shares into the short side here at 98s. I'll probably pop a few more in the 5 to 505 range. So I'm not done with this name just yet. It feels like it's giving us another entry point. As you guys can see, Apple did not give that push past 126, so no re-entry on that name. Still holding on to the shares from earlier on that first little dip buy at the open. And then CCL does make its second push. There it goes. The breakout trade, we talked about that one. It never dipped back down into VWAP, so basically just hung on to these shares and never really even hit the stop. I think we're basically just looking to see how far we can run in here on Carnival Cruise Lines. You do have the 29 level, which is going to stand out a little bit here psychologically on the daily. I'd be more concerned with the next leg out in front of 28.75. That is yesterday's top. When the same breakout sort of failed on CCL. So it's been a good one a couple of days in a row. I'll get some shares out in front of 28.75, just giving you guys a 15-minute chart so you can see yesterday's high. This was literally right off of the open, guys, so make sure you take that profit. Well, you guys can do whatever you want. I'm taking profit in front of yesterday's top on Carnival Cruise Lines. I can tell you, I talked about getting out of Roblox if it broke that 71. That's exactly what we do here. I don't know why the last chart didn't hold. So 71 goes. I love the 70 level. This goes to yesterday when there was an iceberg buyer at 70 even and a long consolidation at that price. It's not a forever hold, but it was such a monster level yesterday with small size, but a forever buyer. I'm going to go ahead and put some bids in front of 70 even if it gets down there again on Roblox. I love it. You guys love to see Ms. V at the big screen. She's there. Let's see what's up.
Hey Neil, Lizzie is a very popular name on the chat. Stock is up around 8%. Guys, do you consider trading Lizzie today?
Well, if that was that Marlin in there I saw, was looking at that name? Yeah, I'll probably consider this is a name that we've been comfortable looking at before. I can tell you, bounce up 10%, the last spike on volume, so some legitimacy here. Of course, my level 2 not going for me there. But worth noting, immediately I always go to that higher time frame. Yeah, you're coming right to like this 958 resistance point that we just had on the daily. You can also see on the 15-minute here. So I like rollovers that can test a breakout like that, especially when it broke 50 the last time and then failed through. I'd love to see the same thing happen again and history repeat itself. If it goes through like 60 to 65, I'm going to wait and see if it doesn't test past like 1050. So it's not I don't love chasing these type of long trades here. I know it's only at 10%. I like to look for the fade. The first would be right here if I saw some size at 50s. Otherwise, if it breaks through, I'm staring 1050 in the face. If it can get back to those price areas, I'll go for the short that way. So Lizzie looks like it's a good one, guys. And if you got to the long side, congratulations for you there. I'm not looking to short it just yet. Even if it rolls over at that 950, I would have liked to see it break through and then come back in first.
Okay, yeah, so I'm using, again, maybe I die on this sword again with Roblox here, guys. Like, I'm going to use this 69 as an out on Roblox. So we're going to give it all the way. Well, maybe it's 70. I'll do a little bit longer work on that one to see where exactly I'm talking about here. But I thought that I was going to use 69, but it looks like 70, I think, is going to be the target there. We've averaged into it again. So we'll wait to see, man. Roblox is one of those funny names. We're going to wait to see on that name. But Roblox to the downside right now. I know Neil got out. That's the discipline for sure. Good move. Man, it's right here at this day low. Like I just don't want to dump it in case it does bounce off that level. But right now, not looking like that's going to be the case
what the
at
heck,
all.
CCL?
So Roblox still continuing to go to the downside. I am going to do some more work though. I got to find out where that low level was. Thank God, I think that we went, oh no, CCL. Oh,
what the heck was that?
A big move down. What the hell was that about? I just got some out at 58 as you were mentioning it going higher, and then all of a sudden we look back and yeah, it's lower now. So CCL need to figure this one out, guys, as it is back down to the low side. Let's take a bid here maybe, and then we'll figure out what happened.
Yeah, I'm gonna, if I can find this one, face slap. Because when it retook the high and starts making those tops, I'm like, I should get some at 75. The other side of that trade is like every reason in the world to move my stop up to 50s and break even. Instead, I left it from the initial like breakout down at 40, so I lose an extra 40 to 10 cents on the trade when it should have been no way it's a losing trade on the second half of it. So, well, not second half. We took 3/4 out, so it's gonna be that trade's gonna be a flat trade. The dip buy never quite comes in, so that doesn't actually get down to like that 28.30 or VWAP. So I'm now out of CCL for the first time all morning long. But it wasn't a huge volume, but talk about rejecting a breakout there. At least it held VWAP. I still like the long as long as we're above that particular line. But I don't know what just happened. I didn't see any news, of course, and it wasn't a massive volume spike. So it is what it is. You kind of roll with the punches. I should have moved my stop. I did not. I'm going to go to Brandon in a second. I can tell you the reload on semi did happen. It never got down to 490. I'm going to start taking off in front of 490, mid 480s, all the way down to 475, then 450. Brendo.
Just saw Walmart's Flipkart, guys, going public possibly by the fall of this year. Walmart just popping up here. Big volume spike there, up about 1%, guys.
Yeah. Okay, so basically CCL, we did get that reload and out at 50. We're going to find out. Did you just say Walmart? Okay, let's check out Walmart quickly here to see what's, 145, or 140, sorry. Yeah, big move there for Walmart. Good look on that one. Let's do a little bit lower, 142, 143, something like that. Yeah, Walmart, we'll look at that. 140.50 might be a good one. So let's have more look at that. CCL continues to go up. The CME still doing this. And then Roblox, Neil, do you have it back in on this at all, or
if it drops to 70, I'm in.
Are we just giving up on this?
For now, I'm going to give up on it. Like the read this morning was a missed opportunity to hold that first long. I'm not going to compound it at this point. Like I bought the dip the second time and didn't take profits at 72 when it gave me 50 pennies. So if I wait for 70 even, I'm going to like that a heck of a lot better. Now it is holding a bit of a double bottom. If it wants to consolidate for like 10, 15 minutes or so, maybe I can work into something with a tight stop, but I'm going to let it calm down. It hasn't been the best read, despite loving the long yesterday and working out so well. It's been very whippy on me today, so I don't love Roblox as much as I did 20 or 30 minutes ago, unless it gives me a look off that 70 even, which that's the go price. All systems go if we see that 70 again. I mean, whether or not there's that iceberg order, I'm going to like it at that price anyways.
Okay, just looking back, shoot, man. Facebook now up at 307, the NASDAQ. So I guess that 305 probably was, that bottom. So we kept on picking it up. I don't even know if we'd be out by now. We were waiting for this 307.50. Maybe a good spot to be. I mean, I'm not going to go short on it, but maybe a good spot if that was something that you did like. NEO still at the day's high, so this is 75-cent winner. So we're really happy with that one. But yeah, more work to be done, man. We should have. I mean, I can't just keep on digging into Facebook. So I'm happy with the out. We'll look to see if it does fall back in. Really now, my only position of worry is Roblox, and it's back upside. Our last thing is 71.06, and we're long at 71.80. So basically just a few ticks higher, and we'll be back into the money on RBLX. Brendan is ready. Looks like it's going to be maybe a little crypto talk, but it's money talk. Let's go, Brendo.
Currency time. Yeah, let's jump into what is moving around so far today. We saw Cardano with that big move in the pre-market. Look at Ripple as well again today. Broke $1 for Ripple to the upside, leading the way for these cryptos anyway. 7% on the day. You can see back to 95. It did get above, but came right back down. Holding just below $1. Bitcoin and Ethereum back to the downside here, 1.5% each. Still above 2,000 though for Ethereum. Just holding below 58,000 currently for Bitcoin. Everything else a little bit negative on the day outside of the euro pound and also the euro back to the upside. 118.5 for the euro itself, 0.3%. Canadian dollar, the British pound, the Japanese yen, Swiss franc, all lower on the session. Guys, back over to you.
So I like that Walmart news, and Brennan, it just came. I mean, you talked about Flipkart. We know about that for India, I believe. Flipkart initially, originating in. That's a big one, man. Any kind of an IPO for Flipkart seems like that would be a good news here for Walmart, but right now, downside. So it doesn't look like it's great news for them, but right back down to 39.60. I think that this is probably a good opportunity to test on a long anyways here. So we'll go long 70s right now. We just took that bid out. The news came from down here, so I got to give it back to down here, right? Like 39.27. It doesn't make any sense why this is not good news for me, for them. So 139, basically right at the bottom. What is that wick? 139.20. We're going to give this back to 139.20, guys. Well worth the risk for me here. I like this shot. 139.20 will average into that. I don't see how this is bad news. It's an IPO for an entity that they own. So, hey, let's see if Walmart makes any sense here to the long side. We're going to see if we can defend this 139.20 as it just comes screaming back in now. So Walmart, 139.20. We're looking to defend that level, guys. Okay, yeah, we'll keep going here. One quick other point here about Walmart. You know, if you look at a daily chart, you have VWAP, right? Like we've already busted above this. This is when we were talking about it with Mark Roberts downside. We looked at Target, we looked at Lowe's, we looked at a few different names. Walmart was the laggard to the downside. You can see Target on the daily way up, right? And that's the point. Walmart has a big move to go still. Target like near all-time highs. Walmart can get back to this 154. All this talk and we go to the downside, but I'm going to see about that 139.70 right now on WMT. Should be good for a hold there. Miss V, you got something else?
Yes, Sean, I have great news. We are just 1,500 subscribers away from becoming a 200,000 community. When we get there, and I believe it's going to happen this week, we'll be popping this huge bottle of champagne. So guys, stay tuned, don't miss that, and make sure that you're subscribed to our channel. And by the way, make sure you liked our video. Our team works so hard, guys, to make this show as good as it possible for you. We are gonna even stream in the afternoon, so make sure to subscribe and like this video. Back to traders.
You better believe it. We are on pins and needles looking to have a sip of that because our producer's like, yeah, don't even think about it until you get to that 200K. And we're very excited to get there. That was a horrible pun because I just took off my Pinterest trade, so whatever, man. I'll go with hitting the bullseye on pins. If only because, look, if you miss out on something, we talk about this all the time. You'll never catch every single trade when you're an active trader. It's probably not going to happen. Thank you guys for getting us to 2,000 there, 2,000 likes, that is. If you miss a trade and then you don't want to chase the move, wait patiently for the price that you liked. I waited twice for dips at levels that I liked on Pinterest. I finally did get one. I'm not going to get that ad down here, so I can just cancel that bid. At this point, look, if it comes all the way back down to 81.50, it's a different story. I might not like it as much the second time through. I like the potential for a dip into VWAP, so I'll probably defend 82.20 or so, or 82s if we come back down here, but it's a secondary break on Pinterest. It's not the one off for the open because we didn't have time. I didn't have time to dig into it. I just knew that I liked this one for the bull side, and of course, I'm actually holding Pinterest. This was my favorite bottom pick. We always talk about the things that the wife is into, and whatever, man. She likes Pinterest, so I was like, okay, well, when the market was dying, this was my name, the one that I like. As this name tries to die, no, this is not the character from Coming to America. That's right, I used the same pun 2 days in a row, deal with it. Finally gets to that 490 level, so we get that reload at 98, start taking off 10 cents. I'll put some bids down here. I should take 15 and 20 cents on this stupid stock. I'm still holding it. I actually held on to 20% and then doubled back in at 98. So 98 was the price I got on the 5 break. 98 is the price I got back here. Mostly a coincidence. If it comes back down to 40 to 75, I still want to have at least a third of the position on to hold for 450. It hasn't given you too much trouble. Every pop has been sold into. It's a day 2 move. We traded it yesterday. We're trading it today to some success. And I still have Apple, believe it or not. That's not the long I wish I had. I saw somebody in the chat, and I wanted to give the chat moves so fast sometimes, guys. Somebody said, when I got stopped out here at 28.40 on CCL, and I was like, huh, what just happened to this stupid thing, and why didn't I move my stop up? Someone was saying, don't worry, I'll be back in a few minutes. But whoever that was, you were dead right. You were dead right about it. Here comes CCL right back in. I probably should have just bought back in when there was nothing doing. It wasn't a big volume spike or anything. Either way, I thought we'd get VWAP. It didn't happen. Clearly, we're right back up to the top. CCL still very, very strong. I'm sure you still have it right there. Yeah, you still got yours, Sean. So kudos to that, because CCL not going anywhere, at least for now. Strong, strong name today.
Yeah, thank God we have that still. We actually, when you got out, we actually wound up buying a little bit more on that dip. Like, remember, like I went over to and I was like, what the hell was that candle all about? And there it is, man. Buy the dips there. We'll tweet this one out. That's a good one for sure. Okay, so yeah, Facebook goes right back to VWAP. We would have been positive on this name, thus creating another perfect day for us on the show. But instead, we get stopped out basically at the low. And Neil talks about, you know, making these low wicks. And I mean, that's basically what I just did there.
Oh, I roll.
You can't, yeah, I don't know if we have any today, but there it is right there for Facebook. But there we go. We caught a little bit. This is small. I was actually hoping to get more near 308. But here we go. We catch a little bit of a short back downside there on Facebook. So we'll take some out right now at 307 and then see what we could do on the other downside. I mean, if it keeps going down, fantastic for us on Facebook. We found a weak name and shorted it when it got near that VWAP. So pretty happy with that. Right now it's a 40-cent winner, but I'll put another bid near 37 if we can get that great, as the NASDAQ looks like it wants to come back down, maybe even lower, man, like 306.80 or so. Let's just see what happens here as Facebook continues to go down, and then Roblox going the other way, starting to go up a little bit. We're only 40 cents out of the money, so that's not bad. We'll see if Roblox can't get going, but here goes Facebook now 60, 70 cents in the money on the downside. Good little short retracement play. So at least we made some back, but nowhere near enough.
Yeah, and I'm going to tweet this one out, like, have an out when counter trend trading, and I'm going to show you RMO. Now, it seems like a small thing, but it's one of those things that I try to talk about, whether you're using a hard stop or you're using an area stop. And for some stocks, or for some setups, especially like this consolidation rollover play, like I'd rather, instead of just throwing a stop out at that high of day, I prefer to look to see what happens when it gets into that range. Now, the first time it tested 10, I saw it bounce up on a bit of a volume spike. It got to like 995, and the fact that it couldn't get to 10, the bid wasn't chasing it up strongly enough. I'm like, okay, I'll take a few more shares here. So I get some more at 985, which we had before. Like to trade even more at that particular point, but I'm still going with the same idea that if I see it push up into 10 even, I'm going to make a bit of a judgment call. The bid held up. When I saw it push to 10, I'm like, I'm not even giving it to 10.07. I'm just going to get it right here, right then. Save myself like 10 cents or so. But when you're short at like 985, it matters whether, to me, it matters whether I'm getting out at 10.02 or getting out at 10.12. If I make that trade, like one of these trades every single day for the next year, that's going to add up over time. You're going to see it show some strength in here. So if you have the ability to use a level 2 to your advantage and have multiple ones up, that's what we try to do here for you guys. If I see ridiculous size on level 2 or something completely abnormal, we try to shed it out when we see it. But RMO could have run me over. I'm going to take the hit on it today, but I always try to save that money where you can. So save an extra 10 cents with an area stop, and just sort of, instead of just sort of blindly throwing that stop at the high of the day, which is easy to do and sometimes a bit lazy, avoid that there and save a bit of coin. Brendo?
Just saw Starbucks here, guys. Volume a little bit lagging, not a lot of volume so far, but all-time highs for Starbucks again today. Just cleared that last little 112.57 area. For SBUcks, up about 1.5%, guys.
I heard Neil talk about that, and I've been investing with every place that my wife has spent a lot of money in. I've been investing in from time, like 10 years ago. I sort of started that theory. And I know how long ago it was, because as soon as Target came to Canada, which now, you know, they took themselves out of here. She was spending way too much money there. I love you. At Target. So I right away started buying those shares, and that turned out to be pretty profitable, as they were at all-time highs at that point after they left Canada. So it was able to get in and out of that without any problems. Okay, talking about the retail side of things, and we haven't been to Walmart too much lately, as we're still in lockdown here, believe it or not. Although retail can be 25% open, it's just Walmart is rammed. Like, so we'd rather go to obviously local grocers and things like that to support them, especially in these times. I actually think, and again, not to get political here, but like these big box stores are allowed to be open, reaping the benefit of all of this. Meanwhile, the smaller places, unfortunately, continue to pay rent, at least here in Ontario, and don't get much relief. And places like Walmart are eating their lunch. Like if you want to buy a fridge or something, you have to go to Walmart. You can't go to your local appliance guy. It seems just to be a joke to me, but whatever. We'll move on that one. Neil, CCL made the same move again.
So it makes the same move this time. Now I didn't buy it on the last dip. Once I see it dip, here we go, 21s. You know what? I'm going to pay up to get 21s and 20s. Sorry, 41s and 42s. I'm going to take those 42s. I just saw it dip down. Another name before we get to that CCL, because I missed the first dip down on CCL. I want to make sure I captured this one. But EBON showing some signs of strength. Now, keep in mind, off of the open, the initial push, it actually made a push into 550 before falling off, right? So, Brendan was short at 620. I didn't have it. I had to chase it to 575. You couldn't get any kind of a dip. Should have had this consolidation. Let's be real. But 550 looks like it should be a bit of a level. It's showing some signs of strength, but the volume is still crap on this move to the upside. So it's really not on a lot of volume buying back into the upside here, which kind of makes me want to continue to fade it in front of 550. So if it starts to roll over, I'll probably take a quick look at it. It's above VWAP. It's a bit of a tricky trade. I'd have a hard stop at 550 in that particular case, like literally 51 prints. I'm the heck out of that trade in EBON. Brendo.
Just checking Bitcoin. Bit of a flush, but nothing big. It's still 58-ish thousand to the downside. Just saw BTBT Bitcoin play popping up here. There's a huge volume came in as it held 16. So they're talking about the purchase of 4,871 Bitcoin mining machines, guys, for BTBT.
I'm just telling you a tweet here because, and I'm saying like a glove, if you guys know where that's from. I mean, I think one of our favorite characters here and one of our favorite actors, longtime Canadian. Well, you guys can put that in the chat. Okay, 139 all the way to the downside right now. We waited very, very patiently for this to happen. Normally, I'm like, oh my God, we got to take a break out there. But like I said, man, retracement, we talked about this in our AMA yesterday. Right back here, guys, to VWAP, and then out at 140 like we do, and then out again at 140.15 there as well like we do. So a good trade there on the upside for Walmart. The only thing that I'm a little bit pissed off about was I layered more orders in here, and I had one at 150 exactly. It went to 154, but that's okay. Maybe it does come back, but Walmart right there, loving the VWAP, loving everything. We're going to tweet this out. Make sure you follow all of us. And Valeria put some of our names on there, I guess, our what do they call handles for you young kids. Put our handles in the chat, and you can do that. Oh, let's check back quickly before I do this. Let's just check back, and I think I just lost my tweet there. Let's just check back here, and I'll just refresh the profile. 16, oh, good. We were at 16.8 a couple days ago. Let's check in on the chat here and what's going on. Okay, after yesterday's big cap tech run, which big cap tech stock are we most bullish on? And Apple today, guys, leading the way. Yeah, Facebook, funny guy, Facebook. But right there, Apple, 41.2%. I would say that's probably always the case. I've switched over to Alphabet because, again, it's a $2,300 stock, and it moved 4%. So get your money, in my opinion, into Alphabet. But hey, my portfolio is pretty much like this. This reminds me of something called FANG from your boy, Jim Cramer, fame, I guess. He includes Netflix into there. I didn't include that. Netflix already made its run, guys. So we just waited on those names. Walmart, right up, right back down. Good trade there. We're almost flat, actually half of our position right now at Walmart.
Yeah, I'm not going to dig into Facebook again today, but one could argue, very reasonably so, that Facebook is the cheapest of those FANG names in terms of valuation. MUDS is not as cheap as it was yesterday. There's another horrible segue for you guys if you love those. Look, do as we say, not as we do. I did talk, the one thing, when Brendan mentioned this name, I kind of didn't look at it and said, okay, we'll see what happens if it gets into this like 1150 range, and whatever. It got there, made a bit of a turn. Of course, I decided to look at our good friend, and it's not my friend RMO because it broke to the high, and then made a top after I got out of it. But yeah, look at that move on MUDS. It does reject off 1150. I do like seeing this consolidation. Let's make it look a little bit better for you guys here. I do like when you see a consolidation like this. This is 11 even. right? So now I haven't looked at the level 2 here yet to be able to have a quick see, but there's not a ton of size at 11. So what I want to happen here is I'll put it up on one of my other level 2 so I can watch, but I want to see if it hits this over and over again. IEX, yeah, not many people use that gate. Well, anyways, doesn't really matter. If it starts hitting that level for larger share lots, then I see displaying at 11 even. I'll look to see if there's an iceberg order that's holding it there. Either way, there's some obvious selling every time it tests to 11. The longer it does this, the better and better and better. When a stock has a $1.50, check that, a $2.50 range on the day, and then consolidates in a 10-penny range, as a day trader, you gotta have, like, I'm gonna trade a breakout. And if I get trapped, I don't care. I'm risking 10 cents on a breakout plus slippage in either direction. First look for me is gonna be the upside here. It doesn't have a hard enough bottom down at 1090 yet for me to be all over the breakout to the short side, but either way, I mean, I'll take that 11 break upside. I want to see it test one more time. If it's an iceberg order, then I will go short in front of it as well, but all I see right now is resistance at 11 even on MUDs and a potential breakout trade where I'm risking 10 pennies, and then the high of the day is around that 1050 area. It goes halfway. I like the risk to reward there on MUDs. That's another one you could file away for the afternoon. I love these levels, especially if they hold all session long, all lunchtime long, and then this level at 1075 holds as well. The breakout's even better in the afternoon at 11 on MUDs.
MUDs is a new SPAC.
It's the new SPAC. It's
SPAC.
The, yeah.
Okay, good. I thought maybe you said before, because we don't know the name, that maybe it was an ETF. And I was like, MUDs, that makes sense because, you know, you get drip and things like that are oil ETFs. So I thought maybe MUDs might be that, but thanks for the clarification on that one. Okay, I'm still looking at Walmart. We're well invested into that one. And then the other name that I'm looking at now as well is Facebook. Didn't even recognize, man. We went way down there. We were $1 in the money on that Facebook trade, and we were just distracted with other ideas. So unfortunately, we were not able. And it's unfortunate because I just didn't see it, but that's a good trade. We did talk about that. Hopefully, if you guys were, you know, making that same move with us, you caught something on the high side there, and then we're able to dump it on the low side of Facebook at 306.50, 306.60. I'm going to park an order here so I don't miss it, just in case that does happen again. We don't want to be caught off guard one more time. And then Roblox, again, another serious trade for me. Not really doing much here on the downside is Roblox, so we'll wait to see if it does bounce. We basically get right back to flat there, and then it bounces off VWAP. That's a couple times that's happened. Actually, no, it bounced off this level, 72, sorry. It hasn't had a problem going through VWAP, so let's see if it has a problem one more time.
Yeah, and CCL comes right back. I got 39.5 as an entry price here. Should have bought more aggressively in the mid-30s in the dip. I just want to get back to Pinterest for a quick second if I can. It's forming a bit of a double top. Now you're consolidating off of the 83 high. It's 83.23 is the top, so give it that quarter and call that the breakout. From this point here, it is a bit of a rollover play, especially NASDAQ right on the high as well. So 13,620 right at that top. If the market starts to roll over and we haven't really moved away from 83 on Pinterest, you got to at least consider the short on Pinterest with a 25-cent stop, trying to get back down into VWAP there. But I want the market to lead the way on that. Otherwise, I'm still going to the bullish side on Pinterest, which means buying the dip at 82 and then taking the breakout as well. Brendo?
Just looking at this Amplitech, more stocks making moves, guys. Amplitech, which is AMPG, they looks like announced a $200 million offering after market yesterday, so there's that. But then they announced this defense contractor contract this morning. So a little bit of a two-way story here. It gave you a first initial push higher, but this thing has just collapsed after that. Just right now making day low here on big volume spike below 11. AMPG, guys.
Okay, shit, the NASDAQ just keeps, I mean, it's fine. It's just, I take the short again at this VWAP. Let's see. It looks like it will break through higher. We're not going to hold it, lose on the long, and then lose on the short when we should still have the long. But right now we're into Facebook at 75s. So we're short at 75. Let's see how low this one wants to go. It's really the only name that I'm questioning here. Walmart is a nice little win, up that 50 cents right now, or sorry, 37 cents upside on Walmart. So this one still wants to work. I like it. The market's ripping right now, which is not great for our Facebook trade. It's great for our Roblox trade, but this is still doing nothing. So I don't want to get out of piece here, though. I still think we can go higher. Let's wait and go. If you want to get out of Roblox here, man, I mean, this is not a bad spot. Like even right here, 71.50, something like that. Not a horrible spot on Roblox to debate getting some out. So if you did like that, you can. I'm trying to scalp some at least some out here on Facebook. That's me bidding right here. Some, there you go. We got some out there at 65. Now hopefully the market can fall down and then we can get some more out at 07. And then even if we're lucky enough to get lower here, which we already should have got out because then this reload will even look better. But Facebook right now coming to the downside again. So a nice little save there on a reload on the short, but it could still break, man. We're going to get out if it does.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys this on MUDs. 11 broke. I showed you that iceberg. It didn't really hold that level like I was going to think it was going to. So I got the 01s to the long side. Immediately, the offer pops right back in. So like it breaks up. I get the long, and like this shows right back up on 11. And then these 12,500 share buys at 1096, which just miraculously disappeared, showed up. Now I don't need to see him disappear to think that that's fugazi, as Sean likes to say. I'm not Italian. I just like to say it because Sean does. So I got out at 99. I'm like, I'm not playing those games, guys. You see a level like this where a fresher comes back in, and then I don't know if someone is throwing those bids in to try to get a short at 11 or build more of a short or take off more shares along, whatever it might be. I'm not playing those games. It was a breakout trade with 10 cents worth of risk. If I can walk away from it losing 1 penny when the shenanigans start to happen, that's what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys. So anyways, it's like it's not my intention to show you guys the level 2 to throw shade at whoever was putting those bids in, but you saw what happened when they just pulled there. And it is what it is. They're going to throw them right back in. Do they want to take these fills? Is someone going to get lit up for 50,000 shares on this stock? Good luck to that person if they do. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, you never want to get too lit up, that's for sure. Okay, there it is. Finally, I mean, we're just going to hit the bear because we did turn bearish finally on Facebook after going all the longs. But, you know, I'm not going to throw money signs up because we're negative. I mean, we're negative on Facebook right now. And again, no problem, you know, bringing that news to you. We basically failed dramatically there by getting out at the very bottom. That's going to happen sometimes as long as you guys have different outs than us, fine. But, you know, that 306 break was a killer. We should have, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy. Like, literally, man, missed the call by like 30 cents. And then it just went upside. So we could have had basically no negative stocks today. We don't have anything that we're negative on other than Facebook. So a good trade today. Oh yeah, and position pending here on RBLX. I just got some out there on Roblox. I got a quarter out. So now we hold 3/4 of the trade. My average price was 71.80. So now on board 71.65. So just to let you guys know, if I don't get out anywhere near 71.80, then it's not going to be profitable. But again, I'm still thinking days high soon to come, man. Let's just break this level and we'll go. And that's why we get some out on Facebook there. Like, it goes right down to 307 and change. Look where we're sitting, 307.50, 307.50, 307.25. So we stick with our rules. It looks like it's going to take out the highs. There it goes, man. The NASDAQ just ripping right now to days high and to, not all-time high, but we're getting back there, man. NASDAQ making the move higher. We thought maybe we'd have a red day today, but that does not appear to be the case, at least for now. And if you think it's going to be a red day, you can always join us back at 3:15. I can't hit the button because I don't have it coming up off on my board, but we are going to be coming back at 3:15, guys, very, very soon. That's going to be starting every single day with today as our first start date on that, guys. 3:15, join us back again. And make sure you all join because we want to make sure that there's a lot of, you know, fanfare and a lot of hype around this. Make it worth our time, guys. 3:15 today.
Yeah, and I said I would hunt for it because you said about making bottom wick, Sean. I didn't make bottom wick on the stock, and it's close enough. BTX, I'm going to call it top wick because these levels are pre-market levels off the open. We got the rollover short. This is me at 8.40 getting out of the trade. It got to 8.45 and then puked $2. So this is sort of the thing. Like, if you're going to go, like I said, counter trend, the stock was up on session. This is when I wanted the short. And a couple of you guys I joked when I paid for the shorts this morning in the chat, in the pre-market, and some saying, do I really even want these? And I was kind of being tongue in cheek, and someone said, of course you do. Yeah, I didn't hang on to it. So there it is, guys. A little bit of an embarrassing look. I should have been back into this. Anytime you get that kind of a wick up at the open or just after the open, and then you get an immediate flush, that's a re-entry on that kind of a short. If you're doing that kind of short trading, you should be back in on the re-entry. I missed it. There you go. We show you guys live, even the embarrassing moments, and that one is one for me on BTX. Brendo?
A little one here, SGBX, which is SG Blocks in the home builder group. Apparently they make fabricated homes with shipping containers. So there's that. SGBX halted a couple of times this morning, just popping up here. Still checking on news on this. Don't see anything yet, but 550 was a problem there. Right back to the downside. Big volume coming in on this one, guys.
Yeah, so you can also make swimming pools and stuff out of containers, guys. So if you're looking at that, I looked at that because I wasn't paying like 150 grand. I'm not getting a shipping container either, although they look kind of cool.
They do look cool.
They do look cool. I like them. So if you guys are looking at getting some shipping containers, you can do that for your pool and or apparently now your house. Walmart 140.20 still going upside there. And then here we go, man. Right back down again. Let's put another bid right here on Facebook if we can get out again just ahead of 350. I mean, we're in the money, another 50 cents on this, or sorry, 30 cents on this play. It just keeps jumping and changing my P&L. There it is. There's me bidding. Let's see if we can get that out right there at 56. Like that's me holding that level. So congratulations. Oh, we got printed there. Okay, good. We did get printed at 56. Oh yeah, there we go. We got out. So good trade on Facebook, but a nice battle back on that name. What's up, Brendo?
Not seeing anything yet officially, but some rumors flying around online suggesting General Motors will unveil plans for an electric pickup on Tuesday at a plant. Guys, so we had that big move up early in the morning. We're back to 61. There is some volume coming in here, so just a heads up on GM.
Yeah, I mean, it just spiked back to the upside. This seems like a sort of a reasonable bet for a buy here in front of like 60-80. If we get anything around 61, I'll take a crack at it. This was on volume, that secondary push. Let me throw a bid. Why not? I'm your Huckleberry on GM. If it wants to give me those 61s, I'll go ahead and take it. I like risking like 20 cents or so. Quick look. I mean, VWAP's at 61.30, so it's like 1.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. If it gets back there, I like gravitating at lunch towards that particular price. Got away from EBON. Apologies. We're talking about a lot of symbols here, covering everything that's moving. One, CCL got out on that little buy dip. It broke 25, so I'll get out of that one. So the breakout, muted success, and then the last little dip buy doesn't work out. It was a morning that was the best trade for, I think, most of that. EBON, I like the rollover and picked the shares up at 537.5. Got a midpoint fill there using BATS. Thank you for the BATS gateway there. Actually, check that. It was EDGX midpoint. Sorry, BATS. But either way, got some shares on the south side of VWAP for a 10-cent win. I'm going to take some more off in front of this like 515 area. Just a bit of a buyer down there. I'm going to throw a bid on a free ECN. So a reverse model ECM where you get paid to remove liquidity, so it should fill first. And then if it comes back down to 5 even, I would just get flat. It showed some support by breaking 5, going to 95, and then snapping right back up and consolidating. So, if I get 25 to 30 cents in the last of this trade, I'm happy with it. I'll have this on the radar for 550 a little bit later on in the day, but for now, EBON's still showing signs of weakness. It would be key if it can hold this 515 area. If I get traded through there, I'll stay on the short side of that trade. And Apple, I guess we're never getting out of Apple, which is ridiculous. No, I'm kidding. I'm actually we just finally broke through 127 and failed. So I was going to put a trail on it, but I'm not even going to bother. If we can't, I wanted to hold through the 127 break. It didn't even break. Comes all the way back down, and I don't get the buy dip. So I had the scalp trade trying to hold on for the last third for the bigger win up to 128. Remember that level? It breaks 127, fails through. It's like, what am I doing here? Let's just take the dollar. If it's going to make a secondary push, good chance maybe we can buy some dips in here in Apple. I got way too greedy with that one initially. If I didn't get greedy, maybe I'm buying that 126 more aggressively the first time. So Apple's been a good one. I wanted that on the dip instead of Microsoft and Facebook. I didn't really stick to that plan when I saw that bottom on Facebook. And it just continues to show weakness, man. Like, I don't know. It's trying to hold up now. Maybe it gives you a 308 break a little bit later on in the session, but I almost don't want to take it unless we're punching through highs of the day in both markets. I mean, the NASDAQ's pulling back as we speak, so that has to be pushing through the highs. Double it with the ES as well, and maybe the 308 break would look better on Facebook. Brendo?
All right, updates. Elon Musk updates. SGBX. Got to thank Alicia, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Russo in the chat pointed this out. So Elon Musk tweeted about the urgent need for more housing in the greater Austin area in Texas. So this SG Blocks tweeted back at Elon Musk suggesting they're already working on a project in Texas trying to help. So that might have been the SG Blocks pump there, guys.
Well, that was worth it.
Okay, wow, there goes the NASDAQ to the upside again. And let's just get out of our Facebook as it's just ripping now. No idea what just happened there with Facebook, guys. To the upside, we got in, we got out there. It's just taking off right now. I don't know if there's some news about that, but Facebook, a nice little move up. That's okay. We basically are flat there. We take that little bit out there. We made some money on the back end, like we said. So nice moves to the downside. It goes all the way to 307 before literally just taking off on not much news here on the NASDAQ, it appears. Maybe there was some sort of Facebook-specific news, but whatever. That's why we got out. Like I was telling you, we were like, that's 20, 40, 60, 80. So we only had that 20% left. We got out because we only had 20% left. It did put me long, so we got out right away for actually made a couple pennies on the long by accident. So that's how you know. But a successful short on Facebook, it just blew up there. Like no idea what just happened there. Ripped to the moon there on Facebook. Let's maybe, wow, okay. Let's try one more short in case that was nothing, but I don't know what happened there. Facebook just from 307 all the way to 308.40 on nothing. Okay, we'll try another short and then use maybe that 308 again as our out. But a big move up there. It's fine. Thank God we survived it. We were able to get out there. So no big news there. NEO still a 46-cent winner. We held our last 5% or 10% on this one. It does get as high as 40.40 on that, and right now we're just basing out. This may be a good long around here. What time? I was gonna say, wow, it's 11:22. That came fast. 11:22. Good little bottom here for Neil, maybe 39.90, guys.
I got tagged into a GM here. Brendan just brought to you the rumors that the announcement could come. That announcement could come. There was volume on this recent spike here down around 60.80. That's why I like that level. So I said if I get 61s, I'll go ahead and do it. I got 61.01s to the long side. 20 cent worth of risk. I want an average out in the first two legs of this trade to be around that 25 cent mark, so a little closer to 1-to-1, and then hold the rest for the top end like 61.60. So that's the plan of action for me. I'll get to EBON. It's just basing out like 15 pennies in the money, but CEMI, which I have to keep an eye on. I've been shorted all morning long. Does resist a fresh low at 480. I got some shares out, another leg out there at 85, but it's starting to creep back up again. I only got a couple of legs out, and I still have the bulk of this position on. I'm not going to average in if we get another pop into 5 even. I didn't take enough shares off to want to average back in front of 5. So this for now is a stock. It's at least a little bit on my get the Spidey sense tickling, I should say. Is it can't break that 480 bottom. I don't want this busting through 5 and 505 on me without a stop order, just in case it's one of those like runners. That's more of a concern for after lunchtime, and I just get the feel like the day 2 play here. We're hanging on to the short. I'm not going to average into this unless it really tests and breaks through like 480, get some shares out in the 70s. Then I'm going to like shorting on any kind of a pop because I don't want it putting in a higher low and then averaging in that regard. So I'm going to stay away from more shares in front of 5 even on semi, at least for now. I'm going to go back to Lizzie because you guys, we did have the question, but I believe it was Marlon there on the chat. And Lizzie rolled over, not where I wanted it to, so I didn't grab the short there. It's trying to consolidate around this 9 even, but the volume has died on this stock. It's been absolutely like cratered. All of it was on the way upside, and you get this like crater in volume. If it can't hold 9, this could be a really, really nice candidate for like an 885 breakdown and then scalp it into like 860. So as long as liquidity looks pretty good at 885, I like to break at 85, take that one down about 25 cents or so if you can get there. So GM longs will be added into, and I'm not going to take any more semi.
All right, I'm going to get out of this. Yeah, good. I mean, I love GM. We talked about that. What's up to Trader TV? Randy in the back there. We've been talking about GM and Ford for a long time. I wasn't even paying attention to the price of GM there, but I was long 52. Where is it now? Oh, 61. That's a good one for us. Ford long $6 or $7. That's at 12.77. And I'm not dumping these guys. These are going to be passed on to my little ones. Psych! I'm turning it into a retirement fund. They're not getting any of my cash. I'm going to the grave with it. That's probably not true. GM now flat on the day, so we'll see if that can get going to the upside. Okay, everything else working out for us, man. Walmart, come on, Walmart, change charts. Come on, Walmart. Okay, well, my GM chart is not changing. As you can see, I have what do you call this thing? The hourglass of death right now. So that means that my charts aren't changing. But just to let you know, we do have Facebook short. I can tell you the price, 307.60. So we will put another bid downside just in case it rips that dollar again. 307.60 on Walmart. I just put a bid at 22. So on Facebook. Let's see if we get filled up there for a nice little 30-cent win off getting blown out, but we got back in. So a nice little win here. Having some nice luck as the show comes to an end. Besides the chart of death here, I'm going to close that, Neil.
Yeah, well, it happens. Look, it's a live show. We're using this platform with multiple stocks all over the place. I apologize for this one because I remember when we talked last week, it was right before the beginning of the show, and we're talking about that update in the NASDAQ and a couple of names we throw out there, AMAT, we love. I mentioned Marvel as well, and in 5G play for you guys there. That was breaking through like 47.50 and grabbing this like 48. Look, I just popped this one in today. It's on 4 million shares. It's actually flat on the session, but just took a quick look back at it. This is what happened off of the open. I mean, just absolutely flushed down with a hard bottom at 50 even. It got to like 50.10 and then made a nice little bounce back to the upside. So I like this. I'm going to like this for a day trade if we get another shot at that 50 level. So we're already breaking out from that 47.50. You go 250 up into 50, that 50 even. Usually don't day trade this name. I think it's more of a long-term type of play. But if it gets a second crack at that 50 level or anywhere close to it, maybe in the next couple of days, I'll take a look at defending it after seeing what I saw this morning. Brennan?
All right, it's about that time. A couple of minutes to go here, guys. It is a few hours then until we come back. It is the first day. Remember, 3:15 Eastern. I saw a couple of people talking about what time is that in my country? What time is that? Yeah, it's like 8:15, I guess. Prime time. We're on prime time in the UK this afternoon. So yeah, 3:15, first day for the afternoon show. Please come back and join us. We're really excited to walk you through the last hour of trading in the day. So that'll be exciting. Come back and join us. Valeria already has the link for you in the chat for that show. So put it up in a tab and leave it there until 3:15, guys.
You better believe it. Yeah, and for those viewers in the UK, you'll not walk alone. If you guys, some of you guys are going to know what that means. That's how I roll, by the way. I don't know how many viewers we have. So a bunch of you are not going to get it. Those that do are going to probably love it or absolutely hate it. Fair enough. BTX, I want to come back to this. I've tried this before. When you get these stocks that have gone so far to the downside, and you say, okay, well, it could round off, it could bottom out, it could make a bit of a break. Just going to go to the 15-minute chart here. I don't know why this doesn't go back a little bit further. This is what could still happen on BTX. It's just showing you guys, not really loading very far, but the break came at like a 450 yesterday at the close. And then you had this little top here at about $5. I think there's all kinds of reason why this thing doesn't make a significant bounce. You really could see it test all the way to 5. We try not to get too far away from these guys. Look, you're looking at, to me, as long as we hold 7, or this little dip, this little dip here was to like 713. As long as we hold 7 and we're southbound to that, there's a good shot that it could take out 5. So let's forget the fact that I made that ugly top wick and got out of my short too early. I still think there's a chance this could go again. I'm looking for a pop that I can fade off of 7, and then my ultimate target would be around that close, seeing if I can get down to 5 even. This one we'll get to check back in on when we come back at 3:15. Hopefully I'll have traded it. It would suck if I don't get a second crack at this wall. Fourth crack at this one, technically.
Yeah, I wonder what I'm going to hold. You know what? I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold Facebook. Okay, here's Neo. Oh, yeah, just checking back, man. We just got out of our Neo. We take advantage of that move back up. We talked about buying some at 39.90. We did not do it, but we still had a little bit on board. So there it is, Neo on the board there. So we're going to close out the day, guys, with our only negative stock being Facebook. And again, it's really... Oh my God. Okay, I was going to say, don't tell me I got that chart issue again. What time is it? Oh, 11:29. Oh my God. Okay, we got to go over. I don't know if there's earnings. Is there earnings, Valeria? Nope. Okay. Nope. Light on earnings. I think we do have a special day. There it is, 307. That's what we talked about when my chart was crashing. 307.22 off of that short. No idea what happened there, but that was okay. We got back in and took that money again. So overall, a pretty good day here. We're just chilling out with CCL. It's not doing anything. Facebook short, 28 cents in the money. And then guess what? Finally, Roblox went right back to in the money. Like, I traded this all day, man, all day. Just averaged. Like, this wasn't a big trade. We weren't going to take a breakout big. We've already talked about why. And then we got a nice little average at 71.50. And then we took the bottom at 71.06. But remember, our average price was 71.80. That's exactly where it went to. And I didn't do anything about it. So we'll hold on to Roblox, see if it gets back going. I'm hoping that we can check back on that one later. But don't know who we're going to, but I'm going to throw it somewhere.
Ms.
Maybe
B.
the lady in Ivory? Ivory,
whatever.
Let's go with Ivory.
Someone called it pink on the chat. So guys, thank you for joining us this morning. We will see you at 3:15 p.m. Eastern time to trade the close together and sum up the whole trading day. We'll rest a little bit. Don't forget, link on the live chat, and we'll post it on Twitter and community pages. And happy Carbonara Day, everyone.
Hell yeah! Look, my wife made a homemade pasta on with little clams and mussels. We had some nice
Don't even say that,
homemade
bro.
fettuccine on
fair.
Sunday. So thank you so much for that. Homemade is the best made, as you guys.
You know
all
we're not eating anything close to that for lunch today, Sean. So of course, yeah, look, I'm happy for
Well,
you.
we had pasta with meat sauce yesterday. I don't know, for lunch.
It was whatever.
Neil, what would be your ideal lunch today? Let's just see if we can make Neil happy. What do you
To be
want?
perfectly honest, I really wanted a pizza this weekend, and my wife was like, "No, we're not having
Okay.
pizza." So I would love to have I'll have a good slice today. I don't think that's going to happen. That's just me.
Hey man, it might. Let's think positive.
Look, I'm not going to think that positive because I'll be disappointed. You guys aren't going to be disappointed. I'm going to remind you one more time. You better believe it. You asked for it. We heard you guys over and over again. So we're coming back at 3:15. Do not forget, same bat channel, same bat, whatever, how that works. Not even same bat time, new bat time, same bat channel. You know
Yep.
how that goes.
New
Either
bat
way,
time.
guys. Back for that final close. There should be some action-packed action for you guys. It should be a lot of fun. But we do have to run, have to get out of here, grab that whatever lunch it might be. For the entire team in the ivory, not pink shirt,
Right.
Ms. V, I'm not sure how, whatever. Maybe the screen's
I think it looks different on the camera, maybe.
I got nothing for that one. From my man Sean Katina.
This is like a green.
For Brennan Wickens, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live. We'll see you at the close. Bye, guys.